Hey y'all, it's been a while since I've actually had to do this, but on this episode we had some technical difficulties, and I'm just letting you know before we get into it that this isn't the best audio we've ever had, but it's also not terrible. I have done what I can to make it sound good, but yeah, without further ado.
Yeah. Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man are in action.
Is it an action?
I
According to
don't.
TA, yes.
Yes.
Compared
You don't
to
have an
Pong, it's
arcade
action.
category, which is really what they should have. Something like that,
Yeah.
like classic arcade.
Old with an E.
Hello and welcome to Achievement Hunting 101, a podcast that has just hit 200 episodes. I'm FuFuCuddilyPoof. Joining me tonight is Big L.
Aren't you so proud to be a part of this great ecosystem?
I
Oh,
am.
man.
I'm very proud of what we've built. That's why I'm never going to leave.
Yeah,
Also-
you shouldn't.
Also joining is KooshMoose
Well, hello. I'm
Eh.
kind of proud.
and Matrarch.
Hello. I've been here for a few of those. Now, is that 200 episodes including episode 0? I don't think so, right? So this is kind of like 200 with an asterisk?
It's a ballpark.
Oh.
200 is a ballpark number.
I think
I mean, we
Now,
don't-
level 0 doesn't count. But it's probably
Right.
our most downloaded episode because people start from the beginning.
somehow.
So,
Yeah, we're sorry about that.
I don't.
Sorry.
It just upsets me that episode 0 is our most downloaded. Like, I get it. If you're listening to like a D&D podcast, you want to start from the beginning instead of the most recent campaign. That makes sense. This is like an Xbox podcast. While we don't really do a lot of news, we do news. So like,
Doo-doo.
start from now. Don't go back and listen to that. We were so much
No.
better than that.
I have
Kenneth.
to say, though, I appreciate someone like KT Echo, who is actively going through and listening to the backlog and occasionally checks in on something. I guess is also keeping some kind of notes as listening happens.
Yeah. Speaking of which,
I
Corey, you
appreciate
and me in
that.
the
That's
gangbang.
cool.
Sorry.
what?
What?
It's a McDonald's food item, just so you know.
Just adding Mick in
Gangbang?
front of things doesn't make
Uh-huh.
it a McDonald's food item.
In this case,
Well,
it does.
Yeah, you have to combine two foods together. It's a secret menu.
You were saying.
There's let's check off the food talk checkbox. Okay.
Hey Kenny, did you want to retry that intro you completely messed up again, or are we just we're doing it live?
I don't know what you're talking about. I did this completely right the first time.
And the first
All right,
199. All right.
Well, speaking of KT Echo, he might have come up with some stats for me. I might do some of these as we go, or some of them I'll hold off till the anniversary. We'll see. But you know what? Since we mentioned food,
Oh boy.
I got a food one.
Oh boy.
Okay. The mozzarella.
All right, we'll do it Price is Right
I
style.
swear to God, if the answer is that, Nate.
Oh, it's a better food than that.
Oh.
That's impossible.
Price is Right style. In the first 199 levels, how many times did I mention sandwiches?
Oh my goodness.
No one could possibly know this.
Apparently, KT Echo made note of it. I think an electrical charge went off in his brain, and he has spreadsheets for everything.
Oh my
No,
Are you
gosh.
for,
is
wait,
this-
are you for real?
I am for
KT
real.
Echo has been very
He
dedicated.
had wrote down how
Yeah.
many times I mentioned sandwiches. So now when
Oh.
I mention sandwiches again, he's going to have to keep track of this.
Did he actually do that, or did he get something that translates the talk
No,
into
He did it.
dictation? Okay, he didn't do that.
Oh my God.
Did he include if you mentioned a questionable sandwich like a taco?
Jesus.
So the
We
word
did talk about that before.
is this the word sandwich? It's just the word sandwich.
I suppose it is the word sandwich.
How many episodes? How many episodes again?
200.
In the first 200. So not counting
199.
today's episode where we've said sandwich.
No. No.
Right. But even
Okay.
though we've said it 100 times, this would only count as one, for
Okay.
example. So that's just
I
the
don't know.
number of episodes.
I'm just going off the number he gave me.
Okay.
I don't
It's
know.
got to be 800. It's got to be
First
like
of
four
all,
forever.
your dedication to keeping track of all this Oh my god. I don't even know what to say. I am dumbfounded. I'm gonna go with 169.
That's way low. It's got to be like 469.
I'm gonna go with the Price is Right standard of one sandwich.
All right. Well, unfortunately, Michelle wins.
Nah.
Oh, wow.
All those sick
I call
days as a
BS.
child watching Price is Right have paid off handsomely. I'm gonna
I
go
call
buy a
BS.
sandwich.
Now,
What was the
KT
answer?
KT Echo did tell me that he will go back and listen to all 200 episodes again just to make sure.
Oh my
He
god.
didn't tell me that, but now I want him to. According to him, he said it's only 56 times.
No.
That can't be right.
This is just me saying the word sandwich.
You saying the word sandwich. Okay.
Yes, this is me saying the word sandwich. Yes.
Okay, we've said it
A lot of times
56
you guys
times
joke.
Yeah.
in this
episode.
intro.
Yeah.
You guys joke about
This
it
would
sometimes.
still only be one, right? So but that's still a quarter of the shows.
Now-
That's
Okay, I guess
I'll
when
have
you
to
put it
ask
like that,
him.
It does make sense.
Oh, I don't know if he means an episode we talked about it or just how many times it was mentioned. Maybe it's 56 episodes.
Oh, you
Hmm.
see, now if that's the case,
yeah,
Let me
that's
ask him.
I
changing the
totally
question.
buy that.
Different question. Yeah.
Right.
I totally buy that.
That was my understanding the whole time. Was
Had it been that,
it
I would have gone with 2.
Different episodes.
Just saying, my number would have been 2. So
Oh my gosh.
Well, this is so far the most productive episode we've ever done, so I'm happy.
That's amazing. I cannot wait to see the other stats.
All right, well, stay tuned,
All right.
mon ami.
I guess he wants to sprinkle them out throughout the show.
Ooh, sprinkles. That's a good food.
KT Echo is now going to have to sort out a new category for which episode it took us the longest longest time to actually get to the video game chatter. This one's getting pretty up
Ooh.
there.
I would be interested in seeing. There's been a couple of major derails right in the beginning.
Yeah, derails when it always happens to be when someone is saying Reese's Pieces. Ugh.
well, yeah, no one would say Reese's Pieces. They'd say Reese's Pieces.
Yeah, Reese's
Ugh.
Pieces.
Ugh. Ugh.
Oh my goodness. All right. Let's actually get
Well, how many
into
minutes
some
have we
game
been?
talk.
Let's get into the game chatter. Kenny, steer
Game
the
chat.
ship.
Oh man. Topic of discussion this week.
Food service delicious.
Oh man, this was the week for me to talk about that. Oh man. All right. The discussion topic for this week is: what are suggestions for a great game where you can play and get all the achievements without missables or having to follow a walkthrough? It's fine for there to be an achievement guide that helps with mopping up at the end. And this one is brought to us by Philip Wendell. Michelle, let's go to you first.
We're going to go to me first. I had an answer for it, and I'm still going to go with that answer. But you know what other game might be a great answer is actually Overcooked. I mean, I don't recall having to go through a guide for that one. We just played it naturally and had to go back sometimes and clean up some 3-star stuff. But that was kind of, the game had
That's
a good list, and it was fun to go through, and it didn't require checking any video guides or anything like that. So that wasn't my initial answer, but it's appropriate, and I'll come back to my initial answer. But before I do that, let's read what some other folks had to say. So Vulgar Latin tells us that his is one that he did recently, The Pedestrian. While there's technically one missable, it's through a sequence break that you wouldn't know to do on your first go-around. One little puzzle game that doesn't overstay its welcome, and it's on Game Pass. Also, we have Xlax Jester, who said, I enjoyed playing the Sexy Brutale recently without a guide for the story, but it was a great game and used the guide at the end to finish up the collectibles I couldn't find. And then Mental Knight also sort of tangentially brought up the Sexy Brutale by mentioning that he wanted to plug the Invisible Hours again, which is from the same developer. Go all around the house and back and forward in time to see what all the characters are up to and solve the murder mystery. And if you're very perceptive, you can find a few cool little secrets without guides. The one that came to mind for me was Rain on Your Parade. I thought that had a really solid little list. You got plenty of achievements just for progressing. There were several stages that asked you to do something a little special. I know when the game came out initially, and I know we've mentioned it before, it had cheats, or there was some kind of glitch you can use through the menu to do the achievements more easily. I know, Elle, you didn't get the privilege of experiencing that, and
No.
myself, when I played it, that wasn't a thing either. But I don't think that hurt it. Like, I kind of feel in some ways like the game is fun, and shortcutting it that way. I'm not saying people shouldn't do that when that was available, but you kind of missed some of the gameplay, and it was a good time actually. And the list was great. I had a great time with it. So I am all about rain on your parade for this one.
Everybody speaks very highly of that game.
Yeah.
And the list.
Well, between having good gameplay and not having a game that you can really directly relate to it, so it's unique. And at the time it was on Game Pass, so price is obviously right. And it hits a lot of nostalgia boxes because it references older games and things like that. Like, it's a clever game. It's fun. It never really feels super stressful. It does a lot right. And the achievement list is one of those things.
Okay.
Now, do you think he means in the question that you just sit down and play without even having to consult what the achievements are on the list?
I mean,
You understand what I'm asking?
my read was yes, but there's also the caveat that you can clean up the game using a walkthrough or things like that. So
Yes.
I don't think it completely precludes using that, but the idea is you can go in blind and not worry about missing anything along the way that'll cause you to replay the game or
Yes,
you know,
correct.
add a significant amount of time.
Yeah, I also kind of just assumed,
Okay.
like, you sit down, start the game, take a look at the achievement list, and go, "Oh yeah, this is all doable," and then maybe have some mopping up at the end. But you don't have to constantly go through and look at, "Oh, did I miss this achievement? Do I gotta reload this save? Do I gotta do that? Do I gotta do this?" Only that kind of stuff for like I said, mopping it up at the end. I'm gonna go ahead and read the next patron question or response. This one comes from Ahizo, and he says Mass Effect 2 and 3 or the trilogy remaster, but not the first one on the 360 because of those dumb and broken ally achievements. It says, for the most part, the completions come down to just doing all the quests you can find. 2 has some relevant decisions at the end that will determine whether you get a certain achievement, but that's easy to save before and redo if needed after finishing. The trilogy remaster is best as far as achievements, though, because I believe with the new leveling system for the first game, it doesn't even require you to play the game once before hopping into insanity difficulty.
So you'll need to know what this achievement is so you know where to save it. So
Yeah.
this disqualified, Ahizo.
Yeah. Somebody's been paid off by Big Mass Effect. He's a plant.
So I had a
didn't know he
question
liked
about
those games.
this too, because now, Kenny, you've played Mass Effect. You enjoy the series.
Very much.
I've played 1, and Ahizo excluded 1, which is fine. I agree with that because there's plenty of stuff you can miss in there. But with 2, I've played, I guess, maybe half of it. But a lot of the achievements are marked as missable, I think. Like, if you don't do certain quests. Now, Heiso phrases it sort of like, well, these are not super missable. They're only missable if you don't go through them. But I feel like with that many, like, especially if you're trying to streamline or mainline the main story, like, they could be missable. Is that not the case? Like, I'm not 100% sure.
Let me. So,
because I feel like people who play Mass Effect. Oh, go ahead.
Possible minor spoilers. I will try to be as vague as possible for this. No, you don't have to worry. You're never going to play these games.
You're right.
Mass Effect 1. The way the achievements are is you have to complete the game with certain allies, or I'm sorry, you have to complete most of the game with certain allies, and you can only have 2 at a time. And if I remember correctly, there's like 7 or 8, so you have to do multiple playthroughs. So knowing that, there's no way possible you would be able to get the majority of the achievements on your first playthrough just by playing naturally. Because you're going to have to play and replay and not just from an end or a certain save. You got to start again and this time play with 2 new characters and so on and so forth. Mass Effect 2 How do I word this? You need to do certain quest lines with characters for the end game. And at a certain point there's like a point of no return, and you can save before that and then make sure everything is done prior to doing that. Now, like, let's say if you sat down your very first playthrough and you didn't look at the achievement list, you'll still be able to go through and get most of the achievements because, like he said, they're for doing quests, completing this quest line, doing this, doing that. It's just a couple of those achievements you will need a walkthrough or to at least have looked at the achievement list prior to completing the game to avoid having to go through and do an entire playthrough, if that makes sense.
It does. I feel like there's a certain type of player that's attracted to Mass Effect, and they're the kind of player that's going to go through and make sure every quest is complete. And so because of the way they typically play a game, they won't lock themselves out of an achievement. But I feel like a casual player, or again, somebody who's looking just to mainline the story, probably can do that fairly easy. I'm not sure if that's 100% accurate. And it sounds like from what you're saying, it would take some effort to miss those things, but it's more possible than not at all.
Okay, so I'll say this, Michelle, since you've played the first and you've at least started the second, if you were to just not look at the achievement list and just beeline it for the end and just beat the game, you're going to lock yourself out of a couple of achievements. That's why they're listed as missable. But now, having this knowledge, if you wanted to complete the game, you could take a look at the achievement list and you'll go, oh, yeah, that makes sense. I know I'll have an idea-ish of when to save, and you can actually get all the achievements without a walkthrough. I mean, obviously, a walkthrough will make it easier because it'll tell you exactly, hey, save it here, then do what you need to do.
And I know this is all over analyzing the question, because I think
100%.
we were talking about this a little bit beforehand, that like the question, if you don't read it carefully, kind of just reads as what's your favorite achievement list or what achievement list do you like? And I don't think that was quite the intention, because if you do miss these missables in Mass Effect, you have to go back and replay the whole game. There's no way to like chapter select, or you have to know to place that save or whatever. So just to make sure in tune with the question, it doesn't quite match, because you can lock yourself out to a point where you're looking at a 20-25 hour replay.
Yeah, and that's the thing of Mass Effect 1 is you absolutely will have to play multiple playthroughs. There's no getting around it. Except
for in the remaster, right? Or in the trilogy re-release, right? Because they changed those requirements.
That I'm not sure. I haven't looked at that list. And I haven't played the remaster.
Okay, fair.
But yeah, as far as the game that I would pick, and I actually had to really look at my list of games I've played to try to figure this one out and give a good candidate for. But I think the game that does this very, very well is Glass Masquerade. Because it's very much of...
Perfect.
You're just playing the game. There is no missables in the game. There's no, hey, go out of your way to do this, go out of your way to do that. It's just beat the game and you get all the achievements. And it's not like, it's a Ratalaika or something like that where the achievement list is super, super easy and you're going to do it in 5 minutes. Like, you got to put a little bit of time into this in order to get it. I mean, TA says it's a 4 to 5 hour game, but it's not something you're going to wind up missing achievements in.
It's not even something where watching a video is particularly helpful, because the pieces are not super easy to recognize. So you'd waste more time trying to consult back and forth to a video than you would if you just sat and played it naturally.
Yeah. I mean, technically, I guess you could use a video guide, but like you said, it's not going to help you that much.
Good choice.
All right, let's pass it to L.
Hello. Were you trying to get me to let you know that Katie Echo told me that it is 56 different episodes? Because it's not. It's just 56 times. But he made sure to let me know that it did not include the if you remember, the sales and sandwiches offshoot content.
Oh, it did mention that? I thought for sure it
No,
included
it
that.
didn't. It didn't count. No, just the levels, the official levels only.
Interesting. Well, that
Sales
ruins
and
mine.
sandwiches.
I like sandwiches. Sandwiches. So,
It's too bad we didn't count at the beginning how many times we said sandwiches, just to make
Michelle,
sure we at
please
least
stop
double
saying
the count.
sandwiches.
I can't
Trying to
stop
answer
saying
the question.
sandwiches.
Sorry, Casey.
Okay,
You're gonna have one heck of a
so-
time trying to count all these.
So, MVP, I think, gave a troll answer and said Rocket League, which of course is his favorite game. I guess the good thing about Rocket League is you can play naturally and see what you get, and then go from there.
Honestly, at a point when a lot of us had picked up playing Rocket League again a couple summers ago, I remember having conversations about how I was sort of disappointed in myself for grinding out some of the stuff I could have just gotten in natural play, because I was having so much fun playing the game and the achievements had been long gone. It would have been nice to get them on the way. But I do remember there were a couple, not missable, but there were a couple of like difficult to rig ones, especially like maybe the turtle goal or an aerial goal. I don't remember the list super well.
We had to
there were a
boost
couple that were
some
little,
of them.
yeah. Still nothing too terrible. And
There
you
were
can
some
do them at any
championship
time.
ones, but yes, you wouldn't miss them, if I recall. And they've gone a long time with an online game without having any discontinued achievements. Also, as far as I know, also, so that's a plus.
Yeah,
What's not a plus is the music in that game. Okay, yes.
Oh yeah, the music is awful. Yeah, that is one of the things about the Rocket League list. I mean, the asterisk to this question is that you can go back and mop up some of the achievements, and like there's achievements where you gotta use a certain car or win a game with a certain car or a certain topper or whatever. Which, I mean, if you just take a peek at the list, that's easy enough to get. You don't need like an actual walkthrough. But yeah, if you play this game for like 30 hours or something like that, you're gonna have a good chunk of the achievements without even trying.
Hawkeye Barry said, I think Snake Pass is a great option. Completing the game gets a lot of the achievements, and there are random ones you can get that take no time. Except the time it takes you to figure out which ones they are and how to do them. There are collectibles, but the challenge isn't finding them, it's trying to collect them. Toughest achievement is to beat all levels without dying. You still don't need a guide. All right. Don't know much about Snake Pass, but I've heard of it. I imagine we're trying to stay away from the easy games.
I mean, I was.
I mean, there's stuff like Freddy Spaghetti where also you just get an achievement for beating the level. That's a fun one. I imagine the Artifacts games count. You don't really have to look up stuff. Collectibles. Never mind.
Well, I think it's covered by the question when it says great game. So that would immediately eliminate Freddy Spaghetti.
We don't play those type of games, Sir Philippe. So I don't know what you're talking about. That I have in mind. I don't know. I mean, the obvious answer that Dino Man said is mostly any Telltale game. Well, yeah, those are great games. Or at least I think so. Except for the people that just butt mash through them and let them sit there and don't pay attention. Like Walking Dead, first one is still just amazing. And outside of Back to the Future and some of the old ones that you could just... Walking Dead 1 did have that rock, paper, scissors one, but other than that, generally speaking, yeah, you just get the achievements just for playing.
The only other one I can think of that had an achievement that was annoying was the Wolf Among Us, because there's the one where you have to collect all the fables, and sometimes based on the decision you make, it only unlocks one fable, so you have to go back and replay part of the episode. But if you look at the in-game list of the ones that you've opened, you can tell where you missed. So even within the game, it did a pretty good job indicating it to you. But that's the only other one, other than, like you said, the rock, paper, scissors, and the older one, that wasn't just, keep playing the game and you're going to get it along the way.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a great game now that Nate mentioned that caveat. Darn it. Gonna say I enjoy Devious Dungeon. I don't like the special, but those are at least meaty long games, not a quick little easy game. Just play. Don't worry about the list. Just get achievements for playing and beating bosses, and that's it.
Also, I
lists
think
like that too.
I think Hawkeye only said Snake Pass so he could inflate the ratio even higher. I think that's why he mentioned that.
Oh, tell us more.
It's a high ratio.
That's not an easy one.
It's a 4,846 TA. So,
wow, 15 to 20 hours. Hawkeye Berry, what a pain in the pass.
Yeah, he's being sneaky. He's being sneaky here.
All right, I have 13 friends that have finished it. I bet you it's not so bad.
All right. How about you, Nate?
Well, yes, I'm glad to read Chewy's answer. He says, I found Island Saver a great do everything and you'll get everything game. Very enjoyable gameplay loop. Colorful. With cute and fun. Nothing obnoxious about the list or anything to stress about. Just complete each area fully and you'll complete it with no stress. And same goes for the DLC. I agree. It's a great game. I really enjoyed that one. Lego Head says Outer Wilds is a great game to just explore and learn. Not sure if you get all the achievements without some clues. There's an achievement that's technically missable, but there are reasons why that doesn't really apply. Spoilery though. Really enjoying Grounded at the moment, and that doesn't appear to have missables. Okay, I'll have to trust you on both of those. I went back and looked at my list of recent completes. So games I've completed recently. And I know we talked about it recently, but Kill It With Fire.
Oh,
that's a great game to just go in and do stuff, and then every now and then you'll be rewarded for random destruction, and that's just really fun. Like I shot something because I thought it'd make a big explosion, and I got an achievement for it. And I was like, well, that seems right. And if I hadn't done that, then I can go back and get it pretty easily. And I think the common factor there is games with level select. Of course, you're not going to know that before you pick the game up. And that's why I think the question is, hey, suggest some games that I can just go at and not do the research and just know that I can go back and clean up. So Kill It With Fire. I was going to say Rain on Your Parade. I'll say Time Loader. I know it's still a little pricey. But that's a fun game. You just go through and do it. It does have a level select. If you do have to rewind and do some things in different times, then there's a little bit of playthrough you'll have to do. It's not crazy though, and it is a fun game. I want to say Wind Peaks. Wind Peaks is a it's a Where's Waldo type game, and it's great for just chilling out, going and doing it. And there are some random achievements in some of the levels just for doing fun things. So that's a fun one to go back and be like, oh, cool, I didn't know that. And then, of course, my favorite of recent times, which no one else, well, some people, no one here on the panel has played it. A Juggler's Tale.
A what?
A Juggler's
Tale.
It's the
a former panelist used to play that one.
Yeah. So that game is great because you can play it from beginning to end. And you can, just have a great old time with it. And then when you're done, you'll see, oh, I couldn't have gotten, I missed a couple of achievements that, and you can look at the achievement title and say, okay, well, where do I think that is? And that can be like a game within the game, right? Be like, oh, okay, well, where did I do something that requires a tree? And then, okay, it's obviously this foresty type level. So go back there. I'll try to figure it out. So that one was really fun. I really enjoyed that game. And I think that would be a good one to suggest, when the price comes down. To the point where, everybody wants to play it, or everybody that wants to play it can get it for cheap and not have to think about it too much.
All right. Yep, that's an 8 game. I just looked that up. I don't remember at all the discussion on that. But yeah, that's an 8 game. All right. In that case, let's continue on into the game showcase. Thank you for that topic, Philip Wendell. Appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks. You just made Kenny miss what he was talking about, so you included a missable. Thanks. Good job. Hi, Harley.
All right. So game showcase.
Oh.
Nate, why don't you go first since you're first on the
Sure.
list?
Oh, wait. What was the joke I was supposed to remember? Damn.
Okay, so yeah.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Do you have your joke loaded, or should I go?
Yeah, it was.
All right, let's mute him.
Show we were. God damn it.
Just mute his mic real quick.
All right,
So the
done.
game I'm going to
All right,
talk about is
I'm done.
Blue Fire. Now, this is a game I saw. I want to see when it came out. July 2021. So wow, it's almost been a year. Okay, crazy. So I picked this up shortly after it came out, and it popped up on my RTDL. And since there were no games I wanted to complete for Games with Gold for the last half of the month, I started doing my RTDL. And this one, doing scavenger hunt mode, I have no idea what I need to do. So I said, you know what? I guess I'll just play the whole game. And that was fun. Yeah. So what is Blue Fire? Well, it says it's a platformer on TA. That is maybe not right. Yeah, I'm going to say not right. It starts, or I thought it was more of a hack and slash kind of, go in and just a lot of combat and good combat. It is not that. It turns out this game is a Zelda-like, and it's very much a Zelda-like. It plays a lot like an Ocarina of Time or something like that, but it plays like an indie version of a Zelda game. So it's a little bit loosey-goosey. There's a lot of platforming. There are sections in the game where you have to do like Mario 64 type levels, where you're going through and the object is to get from these floating islands and this obstacle course that's just floating in the sky. And you have to wall run and jump on these platforms and stay on the platforms while they move and dodge obstacles and collect 30 things along the way. And when you get to the end, you get an extra heart. So one of the ways to make the game easier is to complete all of these levels. There's actually an achievement for doing all of them. I'm not sure how many there are because I haven't completed them all yet. But I'm very close. And that's a great way to get your hearts all the way up. The music is okay. It's not bad. It's not bad music. The combat is okay. It's not terrible. There's a bad mechanic where your character seems to lock on to things. Like I was trying to break barrels in the town because, it's a Zelda-like. So I'm trying to break barrels to get coins. And instead, my character decided to lock on to just an NPC. So I'm trying to break a barrel. And instead, I'm just whacking an NPC with a sword. And that's no good. It doesn't do anything. And I can't get my coins. So that's a little bit frustrating. The game does not have a walkthrough on TA, but there is a walkthrough on Steam. And it's based off of the developer's guide. It looks exactly like a Prima guide, if you remember those from the old days, where you look at the Prima guide and you'd have a screenshot, and it would have some like hand-drawn art from the game off to the side. And it would talk about like little things you pick up. Really cool. So the Steam guide, hopefully there's no copyright law being broken by doing that. But the guide is very good. And the way I approached the game was, I'm just going to go play. And that was very confusing. The first couple levels, you're not knowing what the game was, not knowing it was a Zelda-like. I had to figure all this stuff out. And I think in like the second major zone of the game, I walked in and it is a nature temple. And I was like, oh. And then I got to a room and it said lower water level. And I was like, oh crap. It's like, this is a Zelda game and this is the water temple. I hate it. As it turns out, you only ever lower the water level. You don't have to add that extra. Okay, well, now I lower it and I go down 2 levels, and then I raise it. And no, there's none of that. You basically just flip these 4 switches and you're done with water level. But at that point, I was like, this is really a Zelda-like. And I think that third area that I got to, that's when everything started to click. I started to understand where things were. I started to understand how the game was working. But I would recommend that anyone that's interested in this game, that they follow the guide for at least the first 2 or 3 levels. because it will really set up the game. It will tell you everything about the systems, which I kind of had to figure out. I am like 95% of the way through the game. And I would say at 90%, I discovered there was a projectile attack. Now, I missed that in like the third area. There was the third area. Number one, you get the ability to fire a projectile, which I didn't have for 90% of the game. And you also get the ability to add more skills to your character, which I didn't know you could do. When the game starts, you have 2 skill slots. You pick up these souls. You can then use the souls, kind of like not Void Knight. Darn it. It's the Knight game, the Metroidvania.
Hollow Knight.
Hollow Knight, thank you. So like in a Hollow Knight, where you can basically slot these skills into these slots, you can do that in this game too. But you can also build slots. Well, I didn't know that. So 90% of the way through the game, I still have the 2 starting slots, and I've just been using the ability to run fast and the ability to get health back by hitting people. But then come to find out, oh no. And so now I have like 8 or 10 slots. I'm just like, okay, it's the end of the game. I'm super OP right now, but okay. So I would say that you're going to get more enjoyment out of this game if you want to play this by following that guide. It's really going to walk you through. It's going to show you those skills. It's going to teach you about the game, because the game does not do a good job of doing that. Another huge problem with this game is that there's no map. And that is huge. Like, yeah, imagine playing a Zelda game with no map and then trying to figure out if trying to figure out if you've gotten everything out of every dungeon or out of this level. And that's probably why I missed those skills, because there was no map where I could see I hadn't been in that room, and therefore I would go back and get that before moving on to the next area. So it sounds like I'm negative on this game. I think it's an okay game, but I think that it could be made better with a map. And I think that you would do yourself a service by following the guide, like I said, at least for like the first 3 or 4 levels or 3 or 4 areas to get your base. And then from there, you can go off and do a lot of exploring, do a lot of figuring out on your own, and then go back to the guide if you need it. But you probably won't, at least until the very end. But yeah, so
This looks like a decent game if it were to go onto a sale.
On a sale, this would be a good game. I really wish the developer had put a little more time into it, put that map into it. Maybe the reason they didn't do that is because some of the levels are really vertical. And that's, how do you explain that in a map, and how do it's kind of hard to do that. So I can see why they were challenged to do that, but the game would really be helped with a map and some better explanations of what's going on. But I know there was some discussion previously on the Discord about, okay, what's a good Zelda like? If I want to play Zelda and I'm going to get achievements, what game can I play? This game definitely fits that category, and it's not a bad time as long as you have a little help at the beginning.
How are the controls in this? I'm watching a couple of clips, and the platforming looks like it could be super difficult, but at the same time rewarding when you actually do the challenges.
Yeah, the challenges actually aren't that bad for the majority of them. There's a couple that are complicated towards the end. They're the higher difficulty ones. And those, I only went in with 2 skills. So I didn't have the ability to run longer on walls, to dash farther, to jump higher. These things would have made those easier. I can tell you at the very end when I'm completely done, because I do have to do that to get all, the last achievement is to complete all of those levels. But yeah, the platforming is not that bad. It does feel like an indie game. So the platforming is a little loosey-goosey at first, but you get used to it. You get used to it, though. Some games that are loosey-goosey, you just never get used to the platforming. This, I got used to the platforming, and I was doing great with it. Wall running is always fun. It's always fun. I mean, Titanfall nailed it, but but this game does an okay job with the wall running.
Yeah, just obviously you can only communicate so much from a video when it comes to the controls, but looking at it doesn't look terrible. It looks like it's decent. Yeah.
I thought, like I said, it was a hack and slash. A lot more fighting. There's really, it's not about the combat. It's about all these little quests that you're doing, these little side quests. and getting to the next area. It really feels like a Zelda game. If you took a Zelda game and you took Link out and you put this little blue guy in, you would have the game.
Well, it's got a
And you did-
3.92 rating on TA, so probably something
Nice.
decent there.
Yeah, I hope I'm not coming across as too negative on this game. I think it is a good Zelda-like, but I would say you're going to have a better experience, like I said, following that guide, at least initially.
Okay.
Yeah, and the achievements, they're mostly progression. You're going to get them for completing the major quests. I can't think of anything that's like situational, like, oh, you could do this, but do it this way, do it backwards or, upside down. There's none of that. It's all, once again, it's a pretty good game where you can go through and just get all the achievements without really knowing what you're doing. So
it would have been a good candidate for this week's topic.
could have been if I had completed it, sure. And that is Blue Fire.
All right.
Wow.
You got something, Mel?
No, I'm just enjoying watching the gameplay.
It is fun to watch.
It's fire, yeah.
It's fun to watch.
I saw a double jump.
There is a double jump, but there is no confusing. Not a Vayner.
A lot of people say Zelda games are Vayners, so that could be another 2-hour talk. So never mind.
All right. Well, in that case,
Looks fun.
I'm going to go next in the game showcase, and the game I'm going to talk about is yet another Game Pass game. And
Yay!
if for no other reason, I wanted to play this just so I could figure out how to pronounce this game because it has a very weird spelling, and I know we got it wrong a lot of times. The game is The Dungeon of Nahalbek, the Amulet of Chaos, Chicken Edition. I forget what...
that's how you
Oh.
pronounce chicken. Well done.
Oh, I was going to make that joke about chaos.
I would not have come up with Nahalbek. So is
Yeah.
it said in the course of the game? That's how you were
That's
able
how
to pick
I
that
know.
up? Okay.
Yeah, I know this was one that we had to read off a couple of times. I had absolutely no idea how to pronounce it. But yeah, Nahalbek.
Okay.
So this game is a strategy turn-based RPG. Once again, another XCOM-ish like game. And this game is set so the storytelling is kind of like in the vein of a D&D game. So I know, Michelle, you play, so you might enjoy some of the humor that goes into this. And Elle, I know your humor. You would actually enjoy the story about this as well.
Oh yeah.
It's funny. It's very dumb humor. There's some dry humor to it, but it's funny. And it being told almost through like a D&D campaign, it works. It's really interesting. I dabbled a little bit in D&D, so I get some of the jokes, and then there are other times it's like, yeah, I don't get that. Like the characters in that are, the ranger, the priestess, the wizard, the elf, the ogre. Like that's just your characters' names. You can't rename them. That's just their title. And you're a group of adventurers that are out for gold and riches and adventure, and you come across the Dungeon of Nahalbek, and it, like I said, it plays through very much as in a D&D campaign, where as you're going through the dungeon, there's a tavern that you go to, there's shops that you go to, and you can meet other different classes, or not classes, characters. See, kind of confusing. But yeah, I think one of the nice things about this game is it's more on that intermediate level difficulty when it comes to like the strategy turn-based stuff like this, if I would say. So like a game like Gears Tactics, unless you have experience with these types of games, I don't think I'd recommend this one for. I don't think I'd recommend that for you as being your first one. Whereas this one, if you have a little bit of experience in it, I think you could play this and actually get some enjoyment out of it. There's enough depth there in the skills and counters and stuff like that, that anyone who's a fan of these types of games, you're going to enjoy this. But there's not too much, and it doesn't get too deep. So someone who, this isn't really your type of game, you can have fun with this and you can enjoy it. The other nice part about this is, if this is the kind of thing that you would want to try, you can play for about an hour or so before you unlock an achievement. Like, the very first achievement you're going to get is to complete chapter 1. And you're really not, there's like no miscellaneous achievement that you're going to unlock before that. So this is a good game to you dabble in it before you put it on your tag.
It does look, looking at the list on TA, it does look like there's one achievement that's been tracked by more people than the finished chapter 1 achievement. It's secret, and it involves, I don't want to spoil stuff, but there is an achievement that you can potentially get before finishing the first chapter. I don't know how accidental you can get that anyway, but it is more tracked. So just as a thing to keep in mind, if you are looking to start this game and you're a little worried, you may want to just take a peek at that secret achievement with a low ratio.
Are you talking
Even
about
then, the
Solly?
lowest. Yeah.
So that's actually kind of annoying of how many people have unlocked that in that ratio, because I've been trying to get that. And it's,
Oh, no.
it's a little bit more of a luck-based one. So I guess, yeah, if you're...
All right, since you actually have experience with it, you can speak more on it. I was just looking straight at the numbers.
Yeah, it's a little bit more luck-based. It's not by no means is it story-based, I'll just say it. It's the hurt 2 of your party members with the elf's attacks. So every single character has some sort of a special attack that they can do. And the elf is a ranger. So she obviously, her main weapon is a bow. And one of her special attacks is a ricochet arrow. And as the name implies, it can ricochet off of different people and hit multiple people. But at the same time, it could also hurt your own party members. And I've purposely been trying to get this one because it seems like it'd be relatively easy, and I haven't had much luck in it. I've tried it a few times, and I've had the unfortunate luck of only hitting enemies instead of hurting my own team.
Okay.
The other kind of
I want to spoil some stuff.
Okay, go for
it. Oh, no, I'm just looking at a screenshot, and you're right. This humor is pretty funny.
It's so very much up your alley.
It's just an item list, and there's the awful shield of the beggar, the limp great hammer, the worm-eaten apprentice stick, and Snorfindel's lame-ass bow.
Yes. Yeah, and that's actually something that reminds me. When you look at the game, it kind of looks childish. Like, it looks like something, it's fun for the whole family. There's a lot of F-bombs. Like, a lot of them. I was not expected playing through it. I'm like, oh, okay, it just looks like a kid's game, but this is kind of adultish. And
I find it funny on TA that the top review, the little, one sentence pull they have from that, the person who reviewed it is King Link 2, and the sentence that was pulled from it is, I covered the game as part of my coverage of the Xbox Game Pass for April 2022, a strategy RPG with humor. Ugh, that humor. So, yeah, I guess it's kind of hit or miss depending on your particular sense of humor, whether or not you enjoy it. And it seems like you sold L on the game more than probably the rest of us based on that.
Classic staff of mess.
So I can
dreadful shield.
I can kind of understand that reviewer.
Too much.
It does get to the point where they're trying. If it feels like they're trying a little bit too hard. You have 6 or 7 characters in your party at all times, and this game is more story based rather than just random encounters. It seems like, well, I guess kind of like a D&D campaign. You have a set campaign. Here's where the battles are going to be, and everything in between it is story. It's not bad. Like, the story's it's not a top tier story, but it's not bad so far. But it's at the same time, like, in those talking moments, like, everyone talks. So it kind of gets to the point of where you feel like you want to just hit the skip button because everyone just keeps talking, everyone just keeps adding in and adding in. I guess once again, like a D&D campaign where everyone wants to talk and add to the story.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't particularly love this genre. Like growing up, I played all the Final Fantasies and the JRPGs, where a lot of people who were into the strategy RPGs played Shining Force. I just never got into those type of games. Just looks hard. Looks like there's a lot going on from what I'm looking at.
There can be a decent amount going on. That's why I put this in more of the intermediate instead of like a beginner class of how difficult the game is. Like I said, you can put it onto a, what's the word for it? Like a storybook mode difficulty. They have different difficulties, and let me see. I'm trying to see what the achievement is. Okay, so like they have complete the game in riveting tale mode, which is, just a story mode where you just want to go through, and all the enemies die in like 2 or 3 hits, so it's relatively easy to beat. Like I'm having almost no problems playing through it. So if this is for someone like you, Al, who I honestly think you would enjoy the game just for the dialogue.
Maybe.
You may be able to tough it out through all
Right,
the
but if I
fighting
keep
and
dying,
the mechanics and whatnot.
If you keep dying and keep seeing that same dialogue over and over, I could see why that can get annoying.
Honestly, if you were to put this on easy, I don't think you could die. Because it really is that easy. They definitely have... I would assume, anyway, that they want people to be able to play the campaign and enjoy the story. So they made it a storybook mode type setting.
That ratio would imply otherwise.
So the ratio... the game has 35 achievements, 1,180 gamer score, and 8,330 TA.
Yeah.
2 things right off the bat. One, it's a
5 completions.
Game Pass and
but
inflation.
Only 5 completions though. That's the worry.
Yeah. There's also
It'll be hard.
There is an achievement for like complete the game in legendary difficulty. There's a couple of achievements for beating the game with certain characters, and each of those characters, you have to select them, and then once you select one, you're now locked out of the other 2. So it's gonna require multiple playthroughs in order to do. There's an achievement for like beating a game without having any of your characters knocked out. That's quite difficult. Like, even though I'm on the easiest setting, I've had a couple of characters knocked out. I haven't lost a battle, but they've lost all their HP. So, like, it's not easy. It's not an easy completion by any means.
Mm-hmm.
And that would explain the ratio, like I said, between that and the Game Pass inflation. But yeah, that's the Dungeon of Nahalbek. I recommend it if anybody likes these types of games. Up next, I guess we'll go to Michelle. What game you want to talk about?
Okay, so I could talk more about Aiden Chronicles because I have put more time into it, but I don't really have too much more to add than what I was playing what I had said last week. Still enjoying the game. It is still very side quest heavy. I think I'm pretty close to finishing it. And it might have been a good candidate for the question we had earlier, in that there's really, at least to this point, nothing that I've seen that's missable. So anyway, that's been ongoing. But what I did get to play this week that I'd like to spend a little more time on is 12 minutes. And I know that this has been discussed before. Koosh, I believe you discussed on the podcast, or maybe Corey did and you chimed in. I don't recall 100%. It was you. Okay.
Yeah, definitely an 8-1.
I thought so. So for those of you who don't know, just in case, 12 minutes is a sort of Groundhog Day type game. You're reliving a certain stretch of time, as told to you by the title, 12 minutes. And I had this game on random to-do list, and Al and I sat down and we're like, all right, let's just try it. Let's just play the game. And I do not want to give any story beats for good reasons. Like you need to experience it on your own. So we started 12 minutes just trying to figure out naturally. You're presented a situation where you're in an apartment. The main character is a guy. He's coming home to his wife after most likely a day at work, and then stuff happens. And you're really told nothing. There's a mug, there's some dessert, there's a bedroom with a light that flickers, and you interact in these environments, and after time elapses, the story plays out a certain way, and then the day repeats. And the whole crux of the game is trying to figure out how to get to the sort of right ending for this day. Look, we've all played a lot of games. This was the first time in a very long time that there was a moment in the game when a reveal hit me and it was like, oh no. And that was awesome. Like gameplay wise, it's a point and click. You're not talking about like twitch reflexes or anything like that. But having that sort of aha moment when you see something and it actually really strikes you, like I love, like for that alone, 12 minutes ascended to a certain level for me. You had played it too, Kenny?
No, I haven't played it. Honestly,
Okay.
I kind of forgot this game existed. But yeah, I know what you're talking
you were
about.
looking forward to it.
I was looking forward to it. It was one of the few point and clicks I'm like, oh, I actually kind of want to try this because of the time mechanic. But yeah, I completely forgot this thing even existed.
Koosh, did you have the same? Because I know sometimes when there's moments like these in games, there are always people out there like, it was pretty obvious if you just paid attention to the etc. Just for recalling what you had said at the time, did you have sort of a similar takeaway? I seem to remember maybe you were a little cooler on it, but I'm not 100% sure because it was some time ago.
Well, I guess it depends on which one you're talking about. There were some cool things that happened. I was like, oh, that's really cool. Like, oh, I didn't know that. And, whoa. But then, like, kind of the main thing, I kind of saw coming. I don't want to go in. Obviously, I can't go into it if we don't want to spoil things. But, like, kind of like the big thing, I was kind of like, yeah, I saw that one coming. But not right away, obviously. It took a little bit of time, and I was like, "Oh, I betcha." And sure enough, it did. It was.
I think in my head, it was more that like, I wonder if they wouldn't go in that direction, would they? And then when there was the moment where it's like, "Oh, they did. Oh, they did." But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think it's the kind of thing that it worked well, and if another developer tried to do something similar, it would just feel like another 12 minutes. It wouldn't feel like, because it's one of those things where you can only go to that well once. And not that it can't be written well, but it's sort of the Telltale Games problem where the first Walking Dead was just so exceptionally well written and the characters were presented in such a way that we cared about them so much and all, that even though following games were good, they never quite hit that same level. I feel like it might be similar if someone were to try something of this nature, but something to just pop on Game Pass and try out. And even like if you have non-gamers in your household who just they don't like to play like as a game, to have someone else like sit and watch with you and go, oh, I wonder, can we take that, can we walk into the closet, is there anything in there, and oh, I found I could turn on the radio, does that affect anything? Like, I think it's a cool experience. I don't know if you kind of echo that, Ell, or if you had some other takeaways since you went through the whole thing with me.
Yeah, I mean, it was very minimalistic in a way. There's not many rooms to go into. Most of it's told dialogue. The pointing and clicking is kind of incidental. Like, it's just, I don't know. I will say that we went through like you said, without a guide in the beginning, and then after a while we're like, I don't know what to do. And I will say that a lot of the stuff you have to do, we both agreed, I think, there's stuff that we probably wouldn't have thought to do.
Yeah, I think
interesting.
I was thinking about that actually today when I was kind of thinking ahead for recording tonight. And some of that is just nature of knowing you can go online and look at a walkthrough real easily. I think kind of stops some of your critical thinking about these things, because we've all played point and clicks where you sit there and go, now, why would you do that? Like, how would you even think to do this in this way? And I do feel like the more that I think through the events, I'm like, okay, you know what? If I was putting on my thinking cap because I had to think critically about the environment, because it is pretty limited, I probably would have come up with it at some point. But because I knew I could always reach into the internet and just find the answer to speed things along, I don't really think I gave it that chance. And I just think that's the nature of how we play games now. But I don't think that any of the puzzly bits were so difficult to figure out that I couldn't reason out how someone would ever get there without using a guide. So I want to say Death Dealers played most of the game without one and figured out a good chunk of the achievements. Now, insofar as the achievements for 12 minutes, there are achievements related to the game is presented in a series of loops. So there are achievements for getting through certain loops that you have to get through. There are also achievements related to the paintings you see around the apartment. So the only thing I'll say about specifics is just make sure if you're playing the game, if you're going in blind, make sure you just click on the different paintings you see around the apartment, because you do need to view them in different times in order to get one of the achievements. And that's probably something I would not have done naturally.
I thought those didn't really add anything, honestly, to the game. Yeah.
No.
Like 3 of the 12 achievements. 12 achievements, 12 minutes. Three of the 12 achievements were tied to that. So there weren't many achievements put in for exploring different things. And a couple of the endings do just a couple of minor little things to change. So you probably will need a guide at some point, honestly.
True Achievements puts the game at 2 to 3 hours. My final hour counter was 3 hours and 30 minutes. And I want to say we probably spent the first hour not really playing with the guide. By playing naturally, it's going to take you 4 or 5 hours, but it really depends on how quickly you figure out these different elements to trigger the loops. But it's worth those 3 hours, I think. I enjoyed it a lot. So yeah, 12 minutes is great. Download it on Game Pass. It's
got 3 top tier movie stars as voice actors. Daisy Ridley from the new Star Wars movies, and Willem Dafoe, Mr. Goblin of Green Goblin, and James McAvoy, who's Scottish. Oh, I mean, I don't know him from very much outside of being Professor X in X-Men movies.
Right. It's also the performances of the actors and actresses are very good. And of course, with everything, it's subjective. Like, there may be elements about the story you don't like, and if you don't, you're not going to like the game, because that's really what it comes down to, is the drama that's unfolding as you play through.
It is dark, I guess. Nothing too scary or traumatizing, I don't think. But
it is about a murder.
Who knows?
So it's going to be a little dark.
Quiet.
But yeah, that was 12 minutes. Definitely, if you've played it before, I'm curious to hear if other people Nate, I totally get where you're coming from with that, because again, like, the reveal still got me, but there were definitely moments where I was like, oh, it could be going that direction. I'm curious if it was super obvious to people, or if other people were caught somewhat off guard.
Well, I also found that while playing, especially early on, my mind was kind of like going off in these branching directions. Like, okay, well, I could try this, or I could try that, or I could, what if I do this? Or what if I, with the cups? Or what if I go over here and what if I try to stop this guy with this thing? Or this way, or go hide, or disappear, like just flee the scene. So I was just like, oh man, there's so many different things I could try. And so I thought that part was really fun, and just figuring that out. And, I thought it was a really fun game. And you're right. If they did this again, like, it kind of loses some of the magic.
I thought it was cool how even little distinctions like that were accounted for. So to what you're saying about, like, the mugs, it's not a spoiler. There are 2 cups and you can fill them with water or not fill them with water. And if you take like 1 cup and set it on the table, your wife will be like, oh, thank you for helping set the table. But if you put everything on the table, she'll say, oh, you set the entire table. What a surprise. Like, so even the fact that they wrote it in such a way to account for the fact that you may do part of something or none of something or all of something, like they really were thinking through as they developed this one scene, because they spent a lot of time developing this 12-minute stretch of time. Like they really thought it through, and there's not a whole lot that you do where it's like, oh, that really does nothing or it changes nothing. Won't change something significant, but it will get acknowledged.
That's really cool.
Yeah, 12 minutes was pretty good.
All right.
Check it out there, Kenny.
Yeah, I'll have to do that. In that case, let's get into our sales portion.
Oh, I was going to talk about something real quick.
Oh, okay, go for it. You didn't have it listed.
I don't really I told you before the show. I don't really have a game to talk about, but there's an achievement I did yesterday that I wanted to talk about real quick. In a little known game called LA Noire.
Never heard of it.
I know. So,
you know there's a remaster?
Oh boy.
That's me killing a horse.
I think that's more of a Discord horse than on the podcast horse.
That's digging up a horse to then beat us.
Yeah.
True. That's true.
Isn't the joke saying that it needs a remaster? I don't remember. So there's an achievement in one of the missions for tailing someone without getting spotted. And it's one of those achievements that sounds easy, but it's really not. It's actually got a healthy 2 ratio. And it showed up on my RTDL. So I finally took a stab at it because I know I've done it before, or I've attempted it and failed miserably. So the thing that sucks about this achievement is if you fail, you have to quit out, go back to main menu, and then you start back at the last interrogation scene. So you have to do the interrogation over and over again if you fail. Fortunately, I did it on my 4th try. So
That
are you
sounds
laughing?
awful.
Yeah, the whole tailing part is about 6 minutes. And once you know what to do, it's not so bad. There is a video on the top solution. But even following the video, the timing you have to get perfect. But I just wanted to mention it because it's one of those achievements that once you get, it's like a fist pumping moment. And it's rare sometimes to get those type of achievements.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that.
It just feels nice. Oh, do you remember that one?
Vaguely. I remember it just being aggravating, but I don't remember how easily I got it or anything.
Yeah, once you do it, it's not so bad. And if there is a remaster of this game ever, I will be happy to do it again. As long as they don't come out with a, Japanese version or anything like that.
I
forgot what else it came out.
Very good.
I like that game a lot. It makes me happy. Just the way they talk and just the setting.
The world is fantastic. It's so good.
Yeah. Just like that everyone wears hats. I have to go back in time and see if just everyone wore hats. Men and the women. Just hats everywhere. So yeah, anyone get that achievement? The Moose, it's called. Oh, that's right. I got that achievement in the RTDL room. It said something like Big L got the moose, and then someone said Koosh is not going to like this.
Koosh's silence is speaking volumes right now. Very.
I
I'm trying to figure out why. I'm trying to figure out why it's called that.
What did you say, Koosh?
So I replied with a GIF.
Oh.
Yeah, we can't show that here.
No, that would be very difficult to
show
on an audio podcast.
It's an office GIF. It's Michael Scott saying, yeah, don't like that.
Yeah. I can't believe that game is 11 years old, something like that. I think more than that, maybe. It's pretty old. 2011, I think. That's when I started it. Yeah, 2011. Ah, goodness. Need to get 5 stars in all the cases now, then I think I'll be done with the main game. Still never did the DLC.
It's good.
I know the DLC was then incorporated into the Xbox One version. So that'd be cool to go through again.
All right. Is that the only achievement?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bring on the sales.
All right, bring on the sales. Let's just go in order here. So, Michelle, you're up first.
Okay, I am going to talk about 2 puzzle games on opposite sides of the difficulty spectrum. First up, I want to just highlight Long Ago a Puzzle Tale. This is $4 down from 10. It's a 2 to 4 hour game with a walkthrough, and it appears to be one of those types of puzzle games in the vein of like Slayaway Camp, I think it is, and like Fearful Symmetry, where it's up, down, left, right. Maybe you have to wait for a second. So TA has a walkthrough, and it seems to, just in my brief glancing at the walkthrough, that you don't even need to necessarily play all the levels. You can just skip to certain levels for story beats. So this one's quite easy if you want to follow a guide. Might be worth trying it on your own. It has 2,000 gamer score right now, so it's I imagine had an update to it. But yeah, $4, easy gamer score. Walkthrough if you want to do it. Check out Long Ago a Puzzle Tale. And then on the other side, we have Mr. Driller Drill Land. This is $14.99 down from the normal price of $30. And I mostly just highlighted this because Mr. Driller games are quite hard, and I didn't realize there was another Mr. Driller game on the Xbox platform, even though this came out a year ago-ish. It is okay. It came out in November. It is important to note that no one has completed the game yet, but it does not have a lot of trackers, and it does not have an unobtainable flag. So there are 2 achievements that have not been earned by anybody. One is for drilling a certain length in a certain game mode, which, again, given Mr. Driller games, could be very, very difficult. And the other one's for earning all the achievements. So we can't know if that achievement is busted because nobody's earned the other achievement you need to get there. If you haven't played Mr. Driller, it's just you have all these different colored blocks. You play this guy with the little drill, and as you drill down, you use energy, and you have to get items to make sure that you can continue to drill, and the idea is to drill down as far as you can. Wall blocks are also falling from on top of you. So yeah, I'm actually very curious about this. I think $14.99 might still be a little high, but I think that's as low as it's been so far. So, you know, it might be worth checking out if you want to balance out your super easy puzzler in Long Ago a Puzzle Tale.
Okay. Ell, what game would you like to recommend?
Hi. Well, in the same vein as KooshMoose talking about, he talked about Mario 64 before. He talked about Zelda on 64. I'm going to go back even further to the Super Nintendo with the little blue man called Mega Man. Now, thanks to Corey, I've been listening to this retro podcast, and he beams about Mega Man X. So I'm like, wait a minute. I haven't played that in forever. Those games I know are available on the Xbox with achievements. So the Mega Man X games, there's 8 of them that you can get on 2 different Legacy collections. They're on sale together as a bundle for $20. So $20 for 8 games. So I'm pretty sure I'm familiar with the first 4 or 5. Once they came to PlayStation 2, I didn't play those ones. I'd be curious to check those out. Oh, yeah? You played those?
No, I'm just kidding.
Come on, dude. You played PlayStation 2.
I only played the good games.
Like what?
Jack and Daxter.
Oh, I'm shocked. Wow. Say Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
I was getting there.
I can't believe Mega Man X came out in 1993.
Mega Man X has a fantastic soundtrack.
Oh,
and
so good.
Not gonna lie, as it turns out, I've been listening to the same podcast, and I was up to the Mega Man 2 episode, And I heard that little bit of the Mega Man 2 opening theme, and I wound up listening to Mega Man music on my whole walk home, including the entire Mega Man X soundtrack. So amazing
Nice.
music. It's so good. So good.
Back in those days, such an important thing.
Mm-hmm.
I know none of this.
Anyway,
you don't. Hold on.
Oh boy.
Oh,
You don't know the Mega Man 2
I just stuck
theme song? You
No.
don't. You don't know that? You've got to listen. to that. Maybe not right now. You listen to that.
I have played
Edit into the show.
Mega Man like forever ago. I couldn't even tell you what console it was on. I couldn't tell you which one it was. It might have been on some collection. I have no idea. But it's so vague that I might as well have never have played a Mega Man.
Okay, you need to listen to the Mega Man 2 theme song, the intro.
Mm-hmm.
I will send you a link later. It's good
It's a
stuff.
different game.
So good.
So before we go on to KooshMoose, Katie Echo has told me how many tabs Koosh has opened in
No.
total.
No
Yeah.
way.
No
Yeah.
way. How many tabs or how many times we've
How
mentioned
many-
tabs?
How many? He has opened this many tabs worth of recommendations. So how many games has he recommended?
Yo.
Oh.
And, and keep in mind, Nate didn't come aboard until level 19.
I'm not even hazarding a guess.
Wait, how many- This is how many times I've said I'm opening the tab and recommending, or just a total
Yes,
number of
we'll go with
recommended
that.
games?
We'll go with that.
Is it the total number of recommended games?
Yes.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my gosh.
Oof.
I'm going to go again with my same guess of 169.
It's got to be 3 or
Okay.
4 per ep. It's 3 or 4 per episode.
Yeah, I was thinking a number like 500 is probably more
When did we
more
start doing
accurate.
sales? I don't even have a
Right
guess
away,
on when we
baby.
started recommendations.
Right away, baby.
Was it right away? I don't even recall that. It's been so long.
He likes
Yeah, it's got to be over 300.
It has to be. I'm sure I'm under.
All right, lay it on us.
All right. The answer is somewhere in between you guys. 396.
Oh my goodness.
That sounds about right.
Games. Oh my god.
But that doesn't count repeats and things like
You
that.
don't repeat a whole lot though.
Probably like 394.
Okay.
You don't do a lot of repeats. That's so many games.
Okay, now who has bought all of them? That's the question. Hopefully no
Other
one.
than you.
Yeah.
You.
Oh my god.
Chesno.
That's insane.
But I will say that I do see a lot of people in Discord saying like I heard about this game and I enjoyed it. So your sales recommendations do help out the community for sure.
Oh, 100%.
Community,
96%.
Microsoft's bottom line. Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I guess speaking of that, Nate, what do you want to recommend?
Oh,
But you
just
didn't
a
keep
quick-
track of when you
Mhm.
started saying
We got a tab open. Yeah.
the other thing that you say when it's your turn.
Oh, on a Tuesday.
Oh, damn it.
Oh, thanks for
Thanks
asking.
for asking.
Yes. There you go.
Speaking of which, we're going to go with 4 today, which is one of the reasons I said it's got to be 3 or 4 on average. Let's start off with Sweet Witches. This is $4 down from 10. It's listed as a platformer. There's one unobtainable, but that's possibly going to be fixed. I think there was discussion about it 2 months back out on the Achievement Fixer Discord. Yes, Achievement Fixers Discord. It was a couple months ago, so who knows? But it seemed like they were talking. Vudix was talking with the person who was responsible for making the change. So hopefully that comes about. Excuse me. Next up, Chroma Squad. This is $3.74 down from 15. I'm sure I've recommended this before. This is role-playing strategy and turn-based. This is Power Rangers, the RPG. So Kenny, why do you not own this?
Because I kind of forgot that this existed. I do remember you talking about this, and I think Corey as well. I would
Yeah.
imagine.
Corey may have mentioned it too. I don't know. Or maybe he mentioned it and I didn't. I don't know. This
Yeah.
seems like a game that if you were going to play an RPG, why wouldn't you play Power Rangers, the RPG,
Oh yeah,
renamed Chroma Squad? So,
literally just strategy, turn-based role playing. Like, yeah, that's all the check marks for me. Power Rangers. The
yeah, so
pixel
go
art's
through
kinda
the couch tonight. Go through the couch cushions tonight after the show, and it's $374. I think you can handle it. Project Warlock. Project Warlock, $6 down from 15. This is a first-person shooter, 12 to 15 hours, and the quote from the TA Chosen review that we're going to highlight here is "Love letter to old FPS games like Doom, Hexen, Shadow Warrior." And this often features a metal-esque soundtrack. So
now he can ask.
hello?
Now he
Yeah.
can say. Now he
there's-
can say. Now you can say that this game is like Doom.
yeah, it's like Doom. It's not like Doom.
Right. Yes.
Metal-esque soundtrack. Okay.
Now the graphics definitely harken back to those old school FPS. I don't even know if you can look up and down like that. That's how old school this
wow.
looks. So there may not be a jump.
Okay.
I don't know. But the people who like
Oh,
first person shooters
wow.
and the old school ones maybe want to check this out. Look into it. I don't know. Tell me if there's a jump button. Tell me if you can look up and down. That'd be fantastic
Oh
to
yeah,
know.
this is Doom.
And last up, Eldest Souls. This is $10 down from 20. It's an action title. This one looks like a lot of fun to me. I own it. I will play it one day. The action style looks like a combination of Children of Morta and Hyper Light Drifter. Two games that I really enjoy. Looks like it's got challenging and rewarding combat that has to deal with dodges and knowing attack patterns and things like that. So if that is kind of your jam, check out Eldest Souls. Like I said, 10 down from 20. Maybe you want to wait a little bit longer, but it seems like a decent price to, if you're a fan. So
I do enjoy that you had 396 and you happened to choose 4 on the nose.
yeah, there you go.
400 through 200. That's
Milestone.
It's fantastic. That's fantastic.
Nice.
Nice.
All right, well, going into some Game Pass news. Available now to play is Floppy Nights on cloud console and PC. Hard Space Shipbreaker on the PC. And Sniper Elite 5 on the console and PC. Coming out tomorrow, if you're listening to this day one. Cricket 22 on the PC. Pac-Man Museum Plus on cloud console and PC. And I thought there was another game, but apparently there's not. Page breaks. There is a decent amount of games that are leaving Game Pass on May 31st, so either complete these or buy them while they're on discount. We got EA Sports NHL 20, Farming Simulator 19, Knockout City, but that's going free to play, so no worries there. Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, Spellforce 3 Soul Harvest, Super Hot Mind Control Delete, and Yes, Your Grace. Those games will be leaving Game Pass, so like I said, pick them up if you want them.
Just a fun fact. I thought it'd be. I saw today on Twitter that Patrick Macca said that Sniper Elite 5 will have about 150 collectibles. So, yeah, you're going to be searching for bottles to shoot, I'm sure. They love that little mini game.
I was just sitting there thinking, I'm like, what collectibles are you going to want in a sniper game? But if you're just shooting a bottle, okay, that makes sense. I guess. All right. Well, in that case, let's get into milestones. Michelle, you're up first.
All right, we have a small collection of folks with completions milestones this time, and I'm guessing that's because all of us have been busy losing completions with all these games getting title updates and DLC recently. That said, the Alpha Seagull has reached 150 completed games, Shuya on Ice has reached 850 completed games, and Toadstyle Venom has reached 1,200 completed games.
We have no ratio milestones, and I have nothing to say about that. In streaks, Quantum Gray 17 is currently on a 50-day achievement win streak. Vista Roboto and EMZ Fergie are on 200 days. X-Neo 21X and Wild West 08. And Redemption Denied with the 300-day achievement win streak. Fluttery Chicken with 750. Prince It with 850. Elroy OMJ is a guy with
Love that
1,000.
guy. Aw.
1,750 achievement win streak. And last but not least, Blue Thunder 7398 is currently on a 9-year achievement win streak.
Wow. That
Amateur.
is some dedication. All right. In gamer score, K-Bow 73 has hit 550,000 gamer score. Gambler has hit 1.2 million gamer score. And Knopf something or other, he changes his gamer tag and Discord name like every 5 seconds. Who knows what he's up to? Knopf has hit 1.5 million gamer score.
Alicia is in the top 10 of the TA leaderboard for Battle Royale. Watch out, Waka.
Nice.
And that includes third in England. That's
Nice.
by my math, that would make at least 3 people in the top 10 from England. See, I'm good at this game.
Yeah.
And think all this time I've been saying ASU unknown, even though it's AS unknown. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. ASU unknown is now in the top 50 of the achievements completion percentage leaderboard. Bastion Reader did a bunch of Windows Phone things that nobody cares about because that console's dead. Dead, I tell you. Rip.
Wah.
Bum, bum, bum. Stupid phone.
Stupid monkey.
And oh my god. What's that from? Oh my god.
Don't nobody tell him.
Oh my god.
Let him sit there and just sweat it.
Oh. Ben L72 is in the top 5 of the completed games leaderboard for Metroidvania, as well as the top 5 of gamer score leaderboard for Metroidvania. I think in order to be in the top 5 of this category, you have to play stuff such as Green, which I'm pretty sure he just played, as he's being ridiculed in the Discord as we speak. Casual Exile is in the top 10 of the TA Difference leaderboard for Metroidvania. Very nice. Enigma Gamer 77 is in position 77. What? In the Canada Gamer Score leaderboard.
Nice.
Oh, that's cool.
Did you edit this? What are the odds? High Road V2 is now second in the Colorado True Achievement leaderboard for racing. Infamous is in the top 20 of the TA Difference leaderboard for survival. Logic Slayer is in the top 100 of Floridia TA leaderboard. Mark B is in the top 10 of the United Kingdom TA leaderboard for adventure. And Ike Pitch is in the top 5 of the New York TA leaderboard for Windows Phone. Hey, you can't even take over New York, Mike? Come on, bro. Get good. What do we just cut off after M? I guess that's good enough. We don't need anybody else. In Brag Camp, I think I'm just going to talk about everyone's favorite person in the entire community, Wakapeil. Actually, the joke I was going to tell earlier was in the beginning. If you want to play a game with no missables, you boot up Human Fall Flat and you play it with Wakapeil.
Nice.
Oh,
You're not
very
wrong.
good. That was a good. It was a good fake laugh. I enjoyed it. So, as luck would have it, there's another new level, and he was nice enough a couple days ago to run us through it. There was, I think it was my first time in party with Awoo. He was there. Next to Hero was there, but not really. NBA Kirkland was there, but not really.
I'm sensing the theme here.
Well, only a couple of people. Most people were on chat, which is nice, including Isrit, Jables, and Kronos and Jesta. But yeah, I never have any idea even how to like jump or hold on to anything in that game. I've tried so many times.
It's not easy.
It's so hard.
It
He
doesn't
just
click for
breezes
me.
through it.
Okay, other side of the coin, it's actually not bad. You just have to try. That's the thing.
I
You
have
to
tried.
play.
I did manage to do the PC version on my own.
Yeah. It's not as hard as people think it is. They think it's really hard. It's not that bad. You just got to put the time in.
I think that
It's a pill for that.
as somebody who does try nowadays to do these title updates on my own, I think the thing is that I can kind of muddle through the levels where like Waka and the folks that are really good at it like can shortcut across waddle across a mountain and cut out part of the stage. Like they're next level good at the traversal in that game. It's not impossible. The game is definitely very playable, but there are certain people who just get it to a point where it's effortless looking. And I don't think that that's typical.
I can't climb in that game. That is my hang up. The climbing is
hard.
It just the controls just don't click with me.
Ooh.
Traversing and moving things and stuff like that, I can do well enough to get through it. But when it comes to climbing, I'm just stuck.
Yeah, so the level is called Lumber, the new one. And I don't know how many times he's done it. As far as I know, only a couple times. And he said, yeah, I already found a couple skips. Which is going back to what you're saying, Michelle. Like, he just knows.
He's good at it.
There was one achievement that was a little tricky for throwing the lanterns off the map. One of the lanterns got glitched in a tree or something like that. So, yeah, it sucks. But Waka was probably like, ooh, challenge. And, figured out a way to get up there and he got it. So, as it stands, these ratios are still crazy high. They're all 11 and 12 ratios. So the whole game is worth 9,700 TA.
Wow.
You still have a crazy weird gamer score. It's worth 2,440 overall. We are now up to 91 achievements in Human Fall Flat. No signs of letting up.
No.
Keep on installing it and then having to reinstall it. I think I'm just going to keep installed at this point. I have no idea.
I think the nice thing about this game
Learn my
also
lesson.
is the Game Pass inflation. It being in Game Pass just makes it that much more accessible for everyone.
It definitely has Game Pass inflation, and there's new levels all the time. Just if you don't go back to it, that's inflation right there.
That is 220,000 players. I never would have thought it was that big. Wow, no wonder.
Yeah,
no wonder so many people keep going to it.
You could find people playing it all the time. If you look at the lobbies, there's so many people playing it. It's crazy.
And that right there is why they make so much DLC. Huh.
It's listed as a puzzle platform. What?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
What else would you got?
Physics. Oop. I don't know.
Well, there's no physics genre.
Okay. Maybe there should be.
But yeah, Waka's a god.
Let me see if I can
Is a
find some
god
more stats.
at Human Fall Flat. And he's so nice enough to help everyone just get all the achievements. Is there any other brags?
No brags. I'm just looking to see if there's any fun stats to mention, but
Okay.
I think we'll save some of these.
All right. Well, in that case, I'm going to go into the outro. Before we get to the typical links, I got a little bit of an update. Level 200. It's been wild. Yeah, I didn't really prepare anything for this, so I'm just going to straight up say I'm going to be taking a little bit of a break, an indefinite break for recording. Like, I'm not doing the Corey thing where I'm leaving and I'm not going to be, and I'm just going to be a community member. I'm still going to be involved in AH101. I'm still going to be the main editor and stuff like that. Life is just stupid busy right now, and I've got a couple of things that I need to do, and trying to record, edit, and all the other things, doing this multiple nights a week is taking up a lot of time. So yeah, I'll be on like I said, indefinite hiatus from recording. Have no idea when I'll be back, but I will be back. Short and sweet.
8 weeks.
No, not 2 weeks. Not unless I get
8 weeks,
really
8 weeks.
8 weeks. Oh, okay, yeah.
Unless you get
At least
bored.
for 8 weeks.
This is like your summer break.
Yeah,
Get it?
yeah,
Yeah.
With that being said, I know the plan going forward is we're going to be trying to get some more patrons in here to record with us. So if you're a patron and you would like to jump in the show, be a guest, let us know. We'll get you in. Just please make sure you have, decent equipment somehow. Like a microphone will be great. A quiet room. Be nice to the editor. That kind of thing.
Why should we start now?
Fair. It's been almost 4 years.
I mean, there's this other stat here. Number of episodes where Ell has working equipment. 0. What the
Oh,
Seems about right.
jerk?
Why didn't you just guess that one though?
That one was hot. Okay, fine. I'll give you one that's relevant to this talk here. Fufu, we love you.
I love you
There have been
too.
8. Just spoiled the answer.
Oops.
That's okay.
well, you might as well.
That's okay.
It's late.
9.
That didn't even click
I say
the
9.
numbers
What I was
that
saying-
you just said.
What I was saying is name the 8 hosts that have hosted the show. That's what I was going to say.
That's funny.
Let's see if you can do this. Let's see if you can name the 8 hosts there have been and how many episodes do you think you have hosted, Kenny?
Me. I've been here for the bulk of it. I have taken breaks before, but only like a few weeks or a month at a time. Out of 200, I would think I've been on about 175.
Okay. What? Want to do higher or lower, like Card Sharks?
Yeah, I'd say higher.
That's tough. That is tough. I think it's probably higher also, but I'll say lower just to take the other one to be interesting.
So there's one winner.
Because I know Kenny took at least one fairly extended break from hosting. And I know there have been times where he's gone away for like a week on vacation or
Yeah.
whatever else. And it's not like it's never happened, but it's probably like 170 if it's not 175.
All right. This number is going to surprise you then. 150.
150.
Oh.
You slacker.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And
Interesting.
yeah. So that's I guess this is 151 for you. If you want to guess who number 2 and 3 and 4 and 8 are?
Corey?
Guess number 2. Guess number 2. Good guess, Michelle. It is Corey who did 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guess
So
Kenny took a
you would
longer
take.
break than we remembered.
No,
Yeah.
I think it's more like random breaks. Like I'm going to miss this episode. I'm not going to be. I think it's more of a.
There was at least one previous time where it was
Yeah.
a month or 6 weeks or something like that.
Yeah, I was thinking it was only a month. I guess it was longer than I thought. I don't know.
Now the number 3 person is a surprising one. And there's a hint. That's surprising.
It's not Mango.
It is not. It is not Mango.
I.
It is not me. It is not Nate, and it is not Michelle.
Evan? Oh, Elroy
Not-
probably.
It is Elroy.
Yeah. 'Cause when Elroy's a
Was-
guest, especially if he's
Yeah.
replacing the Kenny role. Yeah. Well, a lot of
Makes
times
sense.
if Kenny's not here and it's like, all right, someone has to host and we all sit there and, nobody really volunteers. If Elroy is on the show and specifically, especially if it's in the Kenny seat, he's totally comfortable.
He's good. And he's done 14. So
Oh,
more than I would have guessed.
Yeah, I probably would have said about 10.
And I'm number 4 with 8 episodes.
okay.
I wouldn't have guessed
Devin
that.
did 3. Evan did 3. Michelle did 2. X the Hero and Mango apparently did 1 each. So I got to look for those.
I don't
ID
recall
Mango.
X at all. Hosting.
Well,
Wait,
there was one
actually,
episode.
wait,
There was one
actually,
episode.
I think I do. I think it was an episode. It might have been an episode or it might have been an extra thing. I don't remember, but I think it was myself, X, and Devin together doing one. And maybe X hosted that one?
There was also one episode that
Maybe.
had none of the typical panelists, as I recall. Right? It was like X and Elroy,
Mm-hmm.
maybe Devin. I don't remember, but it didn't have any
Go
of the
ahead, you got this.
normal.
It was like a what if episode, yeah.
I didn't hear who you whispered the fourth person was.
Oh, my internet crapped out for a minute. What did you get? Did you say Chewy?
No, but there you go. Yeah, so there was that one episode.
Stupid internet. All right, fine. I got a stat about that one too. That was level 99.
Oh wow.
Interesting.
And then episode 100 is the one where you did that awesome intro where you where you gave everyone's like height and weight and hometown and remember that, Kenny? He's like, not at all.
No.
You did the UFC entrance and you were asking everyone for their stats.
Oh, yeah. I do remember that.
It's
That was
time.
level 100?
That was 100, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So how'd you choose to open 200?
And
Wow. I'm gonna have to redo 200. Wow.
To up your game, yeah.
I never would have thought that was 100. I thought that was more recent than that.
and
After doing 200 odd of these things, they start to run together.
and our very own Cal Ripken Jr. KooshMoose from level 100 to episode 194. He did not miss an episode. 95 episodes in a row.
Wow.
So you should not have gone on vacation, sir.
I would say Nate probably has a longest streak.
Vacation you didn't know you were taking.
Yeah. Surprise vacation.
Did you say, Kenny?
I said Nate probably has the longest recording streak, I would think.
Streak? Well, yeah.
We're streaking.
But the number of appearances is someone else.
Oh, you got
Someone you just can't get. Oh, yeah, just because he missed those first 19 episodes.
Do you have the stats for who's been on the most and how many episodes we have each been on? Okay, well, I want to hear
You
those.
do. All right, I guess we're not saving anything.
Well, not now. Now I want to know.
Okay, well,
Now I want to see
you
how
want to guess
dedicated I was to this.
how many? KT Echo is fascinating. Yeah, he wrote down how many different unique participants there have been on the main panel.
Oh,
That'll be a tough one to guess. You want to guess that, and then I have the number of episodes everyone has been on the panel.
number of participants.
Okay, you said there were 8 hosts, so it can't be lower than 8.
Good math.
Oh, right. There's 8 hosts, and then there were guests early on. Right.
This is
Mario.
every guest. Yeah, you don't have to name them. Just we
have
could
to name them to get a sense,
Oh.
right?
I'm just
Okay,
going to guess
sure.
20.
I'll go 15.
I'll go 17.
All right. We're all very under.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
How many?
Number is 28.
Oh, wow.
28. Wow.
Those are rookie
Chip
numbers. We
was
gotta
on
get them
that
up.
one time.
Oh,
Chips
trust-
dogs.
yeah,
So
trust
how many
there's
dogs
a
do
lot
you
I
of-
have?
remember the Chip episode. That one took forever to edit. Thanks, Chip.
Yeah, there were a lot of one-offs in the beginning, like Sasha and Carnage.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Sasha. No offense.
I forgot about this Noth guy. Yeah.
All right. Real quick, because it's very late for us right now. How many have each of us been on?
All right.
Let's
Well,
do
This
the
is-
4 of us and Corey.
This is the panel specifically, correct?
this is the panel.
Okay.
Just go ahead
You
and
want me
give
to
us
just
the
read it
numbers.
off?
Yeah, just give us the numbers.
All right. I am number 1
Makes sense.
with 180 episodes.
I'm surprised you've missed that
Sorry
many.
to listeners.
Mm-hmm.
Me too.
Yeah, me too. You've been very consistent as well. I would have guessed about 186-ish.
Koosh, 65.
And remember, Koosh didn't start recording with the panel till episode 19.
Right.
Yep. He's finding a way to poison me right now. Oh, what is this in the mail? Old Bay. Oh, man.
Make you stronger.
All right. So who's third between the two white breads that everyone confuses?
Probably Corey.
Yeah.
It is, in fact, Kenny. It's number 3, 156. Corey, 152. So very close.
Ha, beat you, Corey.
And then Michelle is number 5 with 42 panel appearances.
Wow, just plummets there.
That many?
That's a respectable number.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Respectable.
I didn't think it was that many.
All right, I'll just read off the rest. I'll read off the rest real quick, and then we can wrap and go to sleep. Number 6 is Elroy with 21. Number 7 is Vulgar Latine with 18. Oh, it's more than I thought also.
Yeah, that's surprising.
Number 8 is The Mightiest of Mangoes. Made it through 14 episodes before deciding that he hated me. Number 9 is X the Hero. 13. Number 10 is our favorite pretty girl, Tart.
Wow.
Who's been on 7 times. She
I
has
wouldn't
since
guess
been
that.
seen. She has since been seen on the back of a milk carton. Number 11 is somehow, I don't understand this, Wakapeil. I remember the one he stayed awake for, but this says he was on a panelist 4 times.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. There was the 3 anniversary shows, I think, and then there was one just random episodes. He's just like, I'm staying awake. Or like,
Yeah.
That was one of the live
okay,
episodes.
if you hate yourself.
Yeah, he couldn't fall asleep or something. It was weird.
Yeah, sure, join on. Interesting.
All right. Tied at number 14 with 3 episodes apiece are Freemhole, Crew, and Chewy. And Doughboy, Skeptical Mario, Sasha, Redemption. Oh, that's right. Redemption did a couple with X and
Yeah.
Elroy. And Inigo Montoya have all appeared on 2 panels. And the people that have appeared on 1 panel are Carnage, Chipapapa, Carpe Adam, Dino Bull, Jeblach, Noth, Freaky Row, Ahizo, and Wild West 8.
Wow.
Awesome.
Soon
Thank
to be
you.
more.
To KT Echo for compiling all that.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, this is insane, and thank you for
Very
being.
And
Yeah,
it's-
there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff I didn't even read, believe it or not. So I'll try to save some.
Yeah, we'll
Honest-
save a lot of this.
I
for
couldn't
the
help
anniversary
myself.
show.
As Koosh alluded to, also, we have some thoughts on how we'll fill that empty chair over the next few weeks until Kenny feels good and ready to come back. So, definitely look forward to hearing some new voices on the panel.
Well, shoot. Well, now
For the
hearing my,
summer.
my ratio, I don't want to leave.
And the chair will not cost as much as a SpaceX ride, so be like
I mean-
half.
Corey's just going to appear the next 5 weeks to take his lead back. And
Right?
I can see it. I can.
All right. Well, like I said before, it is late. So let's get on out of here. You guys know all the links. If you don't, it's down in the show notes. Thank you all for listening. Thank you once again, KT Echo, for all those stats. I cannot wait to hear the rest of them. L has kept them hidden from us, so we legitimately had no idea. But yeah, thanks everyone for listening. See you
All right.
later.
Oh, bye-bye.
Bye.
200.
Welcome back to One List, Two List, Bad List, Good List, a segment where we take a look at the achievement list of a couple of games. One that is a tractor pulling the game to new heights, and the other that is a trailer and is a drag on the game. What exactly makes these lists good or bad? Well, that's what we will be discussing. This is One List, Two Lists, Bad List, Good List. I am Elroy OMJ, and I am joined today by an individual who I once broke chips and drank salsa with. It's FuFuCuddilyPoof.
What's up? Man, that was a good chips and salsa too.
Oh, I know it. That was, man, that was 2019. Can you believe it?
3 years ago.
Indeed. So...
And I hope you get to have your teacher conventions again in DC.
No kidding, man. That was awesome. And you keep eking yourself a little closer and closer to my neck of the woods with, and you peeked your head inside Tennessee not too long ago. So.
Yeah, that was for vacation last year.
Yeah. There you go. You know, Memphis has got stuff to do.
Oh, yeah. If we get down there, we'll definitely try to meet up or something.
Oh, if you come to Memphis and you don't let me know, if you come to Memphis and I know and you don't give me a call, I will hunt you down.
We for sure will. Brooke even makes mention of it periodically. It's just like, man, I wish you'd come back up or us to go back down there so we can meet up with you and Corey.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, man, we'd have to get Brer over here. I mean, he's only 3.5 hours away, but we'd make it work. So we pay his Uber or something. I don't know. So
it's only 8 hours away or something.
Yeah. Well, if you went to Nashville, I would drive over. If you were going to meet up with Brer, I mean, for sure.
I don't know. Yeah. Brooke wants to go back down to Tennessee for. We went to Pigeon Forge, so.
Yeah, Pigeon Forge is about as far. Yeah, it's about as far away from Memphis as you can get. It's like on the complete. A lot of people don't realize this, but a little fun fact for you: Tennessee is very long.
It really is.
Yeah. Actually, did you know that it touches more states than any other state in the union?
That I did not know.
Yeah, you got basically Kentucky's hogging a lot of the space, but on the other side you got Missouri touching, you got Arkansas touching, Mississippi, all the southern states, Alabama, Georgia, and then on the east side you got I believe Virginia. I mean that's really far from here, but I think Virginia is touching it, and then one of the Carolinas maybe. Yeah.
Dang.
So yeah, it touches a lot of states, man.
Fun
Very
fact.
Touching. Yeah, it is.
That's the educational portion of this segment.
That was. There you go. The more you know. So, anyhow, so this is One List, Two List, Bad List, Good List. I do believe you have a crap list for us. Maybe it's just bad. I don't know.
I do. So, the last time that we recorded, we made mention of how we are on the opposite sides of the spectrum of achievement hunting. So for this game, for me, is a very bad list. But I know for you, and quite honestly, even before I looked it up to see if you had played this, I just knew you had played this because it is a very good game for a certain contest.
Oh, okay.
That game in question, which I'm sure you have never actually legitimately played, is Power Rangers Battle for the Grid.
Oh yeah, I know that one. Yeah, that's a mainstay in the certain contest that's in its final week.
Oh yes,
for sure.
Yes. So this game, I mean, obviously it's Power Rangers. I am still a 7-year-old in a 30-year-old grown man's body, and I love me my Power Rangers.
Right.
And as a fighting game, I personally actually think it's a good fighting game. I am not an expert in fighting games. That's X to Heroes department. But I like my fighting games. I've played a bunch of the Mortal Kombats and Tekkens and yada yada. And this one I really, really like. It's the 3v3 and it features a bunch of different Rangers from all the different shows in its almost 30 years of history. And like you mentioned, and like we did, 4 is very good for G-Task because this is now on Game Pass. And it has gotten a significant Game Pass boost. And it's relatively easy to dive. As of recording, it has an 8.9 ratio, 34 achievements for 1,000 gamer score, and a little over 8,900 TA. Now, what makes this a bad list for me is that, much like Magic Nations on the last one, it's just a generic list. There's just really nothing special here. It's the game features, when it first came out, you had like 9 different characters, and for each single character, there's an achievement for beating the arcade mode, which was like nothing. You know, it's your typical arcade mode for a fighter. You fight your 10 rounds or something like that. There's an achievement for beating all of them. And then you get to the multiplayer side. And this is where all the TA comes into play, because you get achievements for reaching like level 50, level 125, level 200, so on and so forth, up until like level 1,000. Then there's achievements for beating, or for just fighting in 50 battles, 100 battles, 500 battles, 1,000 battles. Then there's an achievement to win 250 battles, 500 battles. Reach each league. That's the list. It's just, well, so
No.
Power Rangers isn't this big, epic universe like Marvel or Lord of the Rings or something like that, but there is some Power Ranger lore there. And you could do so much with this list. Have this character fight this character because in the actual show they meet up. Have Tommy Oliver fight Lord Draken, which, if you know the comics, that makes sense because Lord Draken is basically evil Green Ranger. There's so many things that you could do here. They even introduced a story mode, which was a title update, like a couple months after the game's release. Did they add any achievements? Nah, why do that? I even just turned it on before recording to see how many characters they're up to. They're up to 26 characters. Other games like Injustice, when a new character's released, they have 1 or 2 achievements for them. This game, nah. We just stick with the generic, boring list that we created with the game back in 2019.
You bring some good points, but can I defend it a little bit here? So
let's see.
Okay, so now full disclosure, Power Rangers came out when I was at a very busy part of my life, in the sense I think I was trying to win my now wife's hand in marriage, and when you're dating, and you're college, and you're busy starting your life and all this and that. So
you are not the target audience for this.
I am
very
not.
much was the target audience.
Yes. So this one missed me, but from my very, very low understanding of all things Power Rangers, it seems like they've done a decent job of putting Power Ranger-ish sounding achievements into the game. You got more phenomenal. I believe that would probably be something in there. You got Go-Go Power Rangers. I am familiar with that. I assume Rangers Forever, Defend What's Right Forever, We Shall Stand Together. These all sound like things that they probably say in the show. Defenders Sworn to Fight. Isn't that like in the theme song maybe? Or maybe not. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, so
some of the titles, yes, I'll give you that.
So they did put now, as far as what the achievement is for, it doesn't necessarily line up with what they're talking about in the name of it, I guess. But whatever. Like, for example, Protect This World Together. Oh, I guess I can kind of see that one. That's for fighting in 1,000 ranked matches with any character. Seems like that would be like a co-op achievement, together or something. I don't know, like beat the arcade mode in co-op or something. I don't know. But Rangers Forever would probably, I don't know. It doesn't exactly, it's not really specific to it, but at least they put a little effort in there. It's not like they called the achievement, 500 ranked matches for winning 500 ranked matches or something.
I mean, I'll give you that. That is fair. They did come up with some good titles for the achievement names, but that's about it.
Yeah,
It's
they
a
really mailed it in
very
on
generic list.
They really mailed it in on the concept art for the achievements there.
Oh, wow. I didn't even notice that until you just said that.
That's something I always look at.
I didn't even put 2 and 2 together until that. Yeah, it's every single one is the exact same.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting for one, but not for 34 of them. But yeah, and I would like to close out my opposition, my pushback to you, is saying that maybe you would enjoy this game a little bit more if you had spent a little more time with it, given that you've only spent 24 hours with it, which is far less than me, who is a more experienced veteran of the game, who has spent 10 times that.
How many hours have you've put 245 hours into this? You're poor Cronus. You're not fooling me. I know darn well that was all your Cronus machinee.
Now, there is some art to it, so let me elaborate a little bit. There's a little bit of art to it. You got to choose the right team, and it does go faster if you actually drop $9 on some of the DLC to get some extra characters, so you don't have to level up all your characters quite as much. But yeah, the dude with the pistols, oh my god, that dude's overpowered. Like, I don't know what he is. Like some Deadpool looking dude with pistols, and
dude,
maybe
with a pistol.
I don't know. That's his attack. Like he's like pew pew, like pew pew, and no one can. And then you like
the
get
red
close
guy.
Yeah, pistol dude. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure
pistols.
that's Eric Myers, the Time Force Ranger. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. So, but man, if you're looking for this achievement, make sure that guy is in your lineup. And then there's the dude with the lightning hands that I think he's got like a lion head, maybe. He's a real big dude. He's like big, bulky guy, and like he shoots out this laser that starts on the ground in front of him and then it goes all the way up, kind of a thing. And that thing wrecks people. Like, it's insane. Like, if you just put those two and then any other third person in your group, and there's some pink chick with her whips that is pretty good too. That's a good third option. So between those three, just put those in there. And then I am so sorry. I am so sorry. Next to Pistol Guy, I completely forgot about Black Rifle Dude. I don't know. It looks like Snake Eyes with a sniper rifle. I don't know.
It's
Well, it's that's probably my dated reference. That's
the Mastodon Sentry. I know who you're talking about. That's from the comics.
Yeah, now that dude, I forgot about him. Put him in Red Pistol Dude, and then whatever character you need to level up is the third slot, and you will level up like a madman, because those two will just destroy. And then if you need, mix in the giant, lion head dude, but yeah, those two guys with the guns, like, and when the thing about the black sniper rifle dude is, if you get close to him, he like rolls out of the way while he's shooting them. It's just, he is such a pain.
He's annoying. He is annoying.
Yeah. Oh man. So yeah, there you go. So that's my tip. But the only fond memories I really have of this game in the 245 hours I played is when I would look up on the screen while I was playing a different game on my Windows. So I look up on the screen and I'd be like, oh man, that's somebody that I knew was in the contest with me, and I'm like, I know they're automated. I can go win this one real quick. And so because all they're doing, and so they're using the pistol or the gun guy, and we're just sitting there shooting. Well, actually, it's usually the green guy with the Hadouken throw, and because the game crashes constantly, and so it always resets to the first three, which is the green dude, the red dude, I think, and then I think maybe the sniper rifle guy. I don't forget.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, so those three are like the default, and so it always starts with the green guy throwing his Hadouken, which is usually defeated very quickly. And so when you find somebody else that is maybe playing a different game on a different device, it's like two green guys standing there throwing Haryukens at each other until the time runs out. And so I'll always jump up and disable it real quick and then win the match and then reset the lineup to what I want. And then, so that's the only fun I had with that game. But there you go. So
yeah, see, like me, my almost 25 hours was me actually playing the game. Because like I said, I really enjoyed the game. It's really good. My criticism is not of the game itself. I think Enway, which is the developer and publisher, did a good job with the game. Their list just sucks, in my opinion.
Well, I don't think that's probably why you're not playing it all the way to completion, is it?
Oh, man. I don't know if... Well, considering how many people boost this game, now that I think about it, I probably could complete this.
I'm telling you, just mash pistol dude and sniper rifle for the win. And you'll be level 300 before you know it, and then level whatever 700.
700 is the highest level that you need. Well, you see, it's not as much the levels that's difficult for the completion. Like honestly, like completionists beware on this game. It's the fact that you need to get up into the Masters League, which is like any other game with S ranks or something like that. Like you actually legitimately need to be good at the game, which I haven't played in forever, but I was okay at the game. If I'm no expert in any fighting game, so it's not like I have that skill to get to Masters League. But with as many people boost this, I don't know. Maybe I can now that I think about it. Especially during the last week of G-Task.
Yeah, exactly. I made whatever the fourth highest league is, a platinum league. I made that, and I did nothing. So, but when you run into somebody that actually knows what they're doing. But it's amazing. Like the other thing that amazed me is I would find myself just watching it. Like I was like, oh my gosh, these people are so bad at video games. Like they think that they're just going to run through the bullets. Okay, they shot me in the face 10 times in a row. The 11th time is my time. I got shot in the face again. All right, I'm going to just keep running straight, right? I mean, who are these people that are so bad at video games? And then they're like seeing them time their jumps and they're just like jumping right into it every time. I mean, there's some... Yeah, it's discouraging, honestly.
You're sitting there making fun of these people.
Yeah.
But there's like a 95% chance that is literally like a 5 or 6 year old kid who this is the target audience for and just don't know better.
Yeah. I like how you thought that you knew I had played that game without knowing. Yeah.
It's a ton of TA. Like it's a great boost for you.
Oh yeah. That's a good one. That's a GTAS 101 must. So for sure. Right. Yeah.
Well, what you got for that's a good game?
Well, I'm on the other end of the spectrum in the sense that I was hoping that you would have this on your tag, and it's a little discouraging that you don't, because this game it reached me. I was in the doldrums of the final few weeks, and I needed something to lift my spirits. In this game, it came through for me.
I feel a beat 'em up coming.
No. This is just I like a few games. I love my beat 'em ups, but there's a couple of just weird games out there that just really get me. And of those is your random animal simulator. And so when Deer Simulator, your average everyday deer game came out, I was looking forward to the days of playing it. And so I have to read the review for you. Well, first let me tell you about the game. 17 achievements worth 1,500 TA, developed by ideeeer Games. And now I went and I was all about ideeeer Games, and I was trying to find some kind of nugget out there of some good news to give the masses, that they have a second game and it's going to be ported soon, or there's something. There's nothing out there. This is all they got, is this game, and it's it's discouraging. Yeah, but I wish that they had more. But this is it. So it's a 1 to 2 hour completion, and it has 17 achievements, like I said, and it contains buckets. Yes, buckets, Fufu, of fun. So
I'm watching a clip of this. I don't know what I'm watching.
So, well, here you go. This is the top review, and I think the guy that wrote this was trying to discourage you from playing it. And here you go. It says, this is by a big rad roach who wrote this review. It's labeled, "Dear God, what a mess." And then it says, "Deer Simulator is another hacked out quirkathon that is in the category of random animal plus physics engine equals meme appeal with what we shall label as a rampage simulator." And it says, "You are a nameless every man or woman who will spend about 3 minutes on a character creation screen before immediately getting run over by a vehicle," spoiler alert, "in the opening cutscene, whilst attempting to save a deer. You are now reborn as a deer. That's about all the coherent story we are getting." I mean, does that have you hanging onto the edge of your seat? Or,
oh, yeah.
like,
Totally.
like, I think Rad Roach was trying to discourage you from playing this game, but oh man, in case you're curious, it does have a 5-star Elroy approval.
Of course it does.
Unfortunately, it's only got 2.66, but my 5 is helping. We help the West best we can. But yeah, and so if you're playing this game, I don't want to give away too much of the story because I actually respect this game, but it has kind of like an Edge of Tomorrow. I was trying to think of what the perfect movie analogy would be. Looper. Have you ever seen Looper? That's
I've heard of it, but I've never seen it.
It's kind of that, where basically you're... Nah, I'm just going to let you play it and experience the story yourself. So, but it's weird as hell. For sure.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and so I think I know why there's 4 E's in deer. But again, I can't give away too much without giving away what little story there is. But it does make sense in the end why there's 4 E's in deer.
Well, that explains that.
Almost like there's 2 different deers molded together. And so there is actually a fan page for it, which is deer-simulator.com, which is really funny. If you actually go to that website site, deer -simulator.com. I meant to pull it up so I could read to you it's a very basic web page where basically it says, yes, this is a fan page for Deer Simulator. We like Deer Simulator. And that's basically all there's to it. It's really funny. It's an awesome fan page. There's not much to it. I was hoping to get some inside scoop on something. But anyway, so that's enough about the game in itself. Let me tell you why the list is good. So this game has a lot going on, as you could probably tell from the game clips you're seeing. Some freaky stuff. The closing sequence of the true ending is awesome. Like with... there's like all these weird crawling humans and stuff. It's so weird. This is something to behold. It is so gloriously weird, this game, and I loved every second of it. But this game could have been ruined by a crap list. So I've seen it before. Again, the achievement list should enhance the game and basically lead you to do all the cool stuff that they programmed it to do. So if the list was something like destroy X buildings or shoot 5,000 times or just something bland, you're not going to get the full experience of Deer Simulator. So this happens sometimes. Sometimes I wonder when I'm playing like a rat or a game like that, Rat or Is It, where you're enjoying the game and then you're like, oh, the achievements are done. And you were kind of enjoying it, and then you're just like, huh. You're like, it's over. And I know you don't have to stop playing it, but that's kind of what you're conditioned to do. And so you just kind of delete it and it's like, well, I hope there's a sequel. Even though you only played like the first 3 stages and you're like, yeah, it's over. Yeah.
Waiting for my full blast too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, full blast, that's good. So yeah. But anyway, so this game is open world. That's one of the genres, and the fun is in exploring it. It's actually a fun open world. And so if you're looking around in the game, it has like all these kinds of weird giant animals just hanging out. Like there's a giant fish that's flying around. There's a giant koala hanging on a building. If you do a few certain things, there's a giant monkey that pounds like cymbals together. I don't know what you call that, but there's all kinds of animals like that. It's just weird animals, just out of place, whatever.
Yeah, that's definitely something I noticed in the clips I was watching.
Right. And so if you had a crap list, you would never engage with those entities. And by engage, I mean you wouldn't have to fight them to the death. So the achievement list makes you do that. So that really helps the game. Otherwise, you might finish the game and be like, well, that was weird. What was up with that giant koala on the building? But now you know that it's there to kill. So, so the achievement list really enhances the game in the sense that they have to play through everything, right? So
I agree.
So there's that. Yeah. So that's one of the cool things about it. But on the surface, you might look at the achievement list and you not think twice about it. But did you know that there's a lot? I like education. I'm in the education field. I like educational lists, and this actually has a lot of education to it. So there's a couple that are kind of pop culture references, and some that are kind of a mixture of both. So, for example, I'll give you an easy one. There's one for the True Deer Show, and the art depicts a guy going through a door. Are you familiar with that reference?
Okay. I'm just going to say it right now. I am probably the worst person at pop culture. I have no idea. So before you said that, I was looking at the achievement titles. I know there's a lot here that is going over my head. And that specifically is definitely one of them.
This is the only one that's really pop culture, though. So,
okay.
Yeah. So the rest are just, you'll see. But I was trying to find your wheelhouse. So obviously this movie references aren't your thing. So the True Deer Show, there was a show called The Truman Show. And The Truman Show.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, instead of The True Deer Show. But in it, it's a guy who's born into a reality show, and he lives literally inside a dome, and everyone's in on it but him. And so his whole life has been broadcast on television, and everyone in the world knows him because it's wildly popular. And then he starts to think that something's up, and then people are trying to tell him, and it's a really cool movie. It's got Jim Carrey in it, and in the end, I'm just kind of spoiler alert. Yeah, he basically walks through a door. There you go. I'll just say it like that. So the art depicts kind of the culminating moment of the show. It's really cool.
Interesting.
So, yeah, and so I think it was a '90s movie. So it was before your time. I understand, but here you go. There's other ones as well. So there's one called The Divine Move. Okay, have you seen that one? There's an achievement for that.
Don't get that reference.
Okay. I wasn't really sure. There's Cautello. So I thought there had to be something there. And so here's what the Divine Move is. I thought it was like a movie reference or something, but it's actually refers to a particularly brilliant move considered to be once in a lifetime, kind of like a hole-in-one kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience for the best professionals in the board game Baddick, or it's called Go apparently in the West. It's called Go. It's like a Chinese game, I think, but basically, which often turns what was a losing or close game into a winning effort at the most crucial moment. So it's like a boss move, like in this game, that just you look like you're going to lose it. And so it's basically the game where you play. Here's Go. It's an abstract strategy board game for 2 players in which you're trying to surround more territory than the opponent. And it was, I was right. The game was created in China more than 2,500 years ago and is believed to be the oldest board game continuously played at present day.
Oh,
So,
this looks interesting.
Yeah, and so it's actually a little like a mini game in there. You have to go play against the cows in it, so that's why it's called Cow I guess I don't know. Seems like it might be called Othello too, maybe. So Cow.
I was just
maybe.
about to say that this looks like a game that I know of called Othello or something like that, which is a really fun little game.
Yeah, so I think it's like that's why they call it Cow Hello. So
I like it.
So. Yeah, and so it's a little mini game, and so it's actually one of the harder achievements in the game because it's. I understand what's called the divine move because the computer is very good at the game, and you just have to keep trying until you finally get it. It took me a while to get it though, but man, I didn't watch a guide for it. I don't know that there is a guide for it because it's kind of random, but yeah. So and it took me forever to even figure out what I was trying to do. So maybe that was part of the problem. I didn't understand why I'd play something here and then all of a sudden like. I was losing, like I don't know. It was kind of weird. If you ever play it, you'll see what I'm talking about. So, okay. And then there's another achievement called Dunkley Osteus. All right.
Which that sounds like something.
It does sound like so. You're right. It is something. And so you get this achievement for defeating the giant fish. So there's this giant fish just flying around in the sky. You don't really know why it's there, but if you shoot it, it's going to rain hell on you, and it's kind of fun to kill it. And so, Dunkleosteus is a large placoderm, I guess I'm saying that right, that lived in the late Devonian period, around a lot of millions of years ago, and it grew to 10 meters and was the top predator of its time, and is one of the top predators of the Paleozoic era. So it was like freaking giant freaking fish that looks like a stretched out piranha, honestly. From the pictures I saw, it's like a kind of like a piranha head on a shark body kind of a thing.
Oh, that thing is terrifying.
Yeah. So there you go, Dunkleosteus. So that was a top predator back in the day. So that's the giant fish that's flying around. Apparently, it didn't quite look like that, but yeah, teach their own, I guess. And then let's see, I got two more for you. The first one is Town Musicians of Bremen.
Yep. I had a feeling you were going to go there because that looks like something as well.
It does look like something, yeah. So I was like, that's oddly specific. But apparently, I mean, I thought if any of these you would know this one because I think there's a kids movie that they released on it, but I don't know when the kids movie came out because I don't watch kids movies, but it seems like I saw that somewhere that there's a kids movie for it. So I thought maybe, I don't know. Anyway, so not that you watch kid movies, but you're a family guy now, so
I was just about to say, I love that he just. Oh yeah, he watches Power Rangers, so obviously he knows kids movies.
Yeah, you're family food, Papa food. Yeah, so I figured you're forced to watch all that crap now. So, okay, so let me tell you about the Town Musicians of Bremen. It's a story in which a donkey, a dog, a cat, and a rooster, unlikely pair, all past their prime. So like me, they're all old, and they're all past their prime in years of life and usefulness, and on their respective farms. And apparently on their farms, they were mistreated by their owners, and they're about to be, discarded in one way or the other. And so one by one, they all leave their homes and they somehow meet up and make a friendship, and they set out together to become musicians. And so I guess they are, going to go to the city of Bremen, which is known for its freedom. Any guesses where Bremen is? It's an actual city.
Sounds like France or something like that.
Close enough. Yeah, Germany. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So they're going to Germany, and they're in Germany, and I guess they're going to the city that's known for something. I don't know. The tagline is something better than death we can find anywhere. So I guess they weren't. The expectations were low, but
very.
Yeah. So. But yeah, it's all about their adventure there. It's not really about them arriving in Bremen. And some tellings of the story apparently don't ever get there. It's more about how their adventures along the way. It's more about the journey, not the destination, kind of a thing. And so like they run into a bunch of robbers or something. That's like the pivotal point of the story. And somehow they outsmart them or or defeat them in some way or fashion and get their treasures. And in some versions of the story, they go back and give the money to their masters, and to get them out of their hardships that has caused them to mistreat them or something. I don't know. There's like all kinds of versions of it, but there's actually statues of it in Germany where you'll see it, where there's a donkey that has a dog standing on its back, that has a cat standing on its back, and then a rooster standing on its back. It's like a stacked animal statue. Yeah, you see that? All right.
Yeah, I looked that up.
Yeah, and so what's interesting to me is that they used it for the achievement that they used it for, which was for defeating Doggo, which I'm about to get into. But it's more consistent if you look at the Rhino Saber achievement, which is literally that type of thing where they have a bunch of animals stacked on each other. You would have thought that they would have used that for that achievement, but because that's literally what it looks like, is a bunch of stacked rhinos, and which is cool to me because my wife collects rhinos and there's like rhinos all over my house, but that's a story for another time. But so you get it for defeating Doggo. Now this might be more in your wheelhouse. Are you familiar with Doggo?
Yes.
Okay, I see. Now this is becoming like an age-specific thing at this point, because I still not 100% sure I understand it, but apparently it's like some social media crap that has to do with dogs, where you post pictures of your dogs and you just misspell dog with doggo, and
like,
is that all there's to it?
It's a good doggo. Like, it's a good dog. It's more of a meme thing, really.
Okay, I totally have missed that because I had no idea of this. Yeah,
it's like I say, it's mostly just a meme thing. Like, instead of here's a good boy, it's like, oh, he's a good doggo.
Well, it seems like they always use that one dog, the Shiba. Is it Shiba? It's like the star of it, I guess. The Shiba
it's a
Inu.
very just think of the dog meme picture. Yeah, it's that dog.
Okay. So apparently that was a whole thing. I never knew that. So so I learned that. But if you look at it, it's like, if you look up a definition of it, it's like talking about avoiding detection or something. And it's like used chiefly in the phrase "lie doggo." Have you ever heard that?
That I haven't heard.
Okay, well, I don't know. But anyway, I think they're considering adding it to the dictionary and everything. Whatever it was, I completely missed it. Yeah. So and so this is actually one of the funniest parts in the game, which is Doggo, who plays a part later on, but it's like a Voltron dog of sorts that gets all these different parts. You gotta see the battle with Doggo. It is hysterical. But yeah, you walk in and it looks like kind of like Paw Patrol looking dog, and then all of a sudden it's not. It's like Voltron, and you have to defeat that thing, which is actually it's actually a fun battle. But yeah, that's Doggo, and so
this game is something else. Now
you have to play this game. I mean, it is amazing. It's an amazing game. I wouldn't lead you wrong on this. It is fun.
Once
it's
again,
a fun game.
Another game I am sure you've played, Goat Simulator.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes. This basically just looks like an indie version of Goat Simulator.
Yeah, it's like a weirder version of Goat Simulator for sure. With,
Goat Simulator,
animals.
more acid.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, wait till you get to the final battle. The final battle is just so gloriously weird. I mean, I can't even describe it. It's so weird. It's like a bunch of creepy, like, I don't know, tidy whitey wearing humans, like in weird contortions, trying to kill you. It's really odd, truly odd. And then
it's truly amazing that like this type of a game not only has a story, but then it has two endings.
Oh, and
the average everyday ending, and then the true ending.
And I'm seriously, I'm not telling you what the endings are, because I actually I don't spoil games that I respect, and I respect this game to the very highest esteem there. And so you're gonna have to find out what the endings are yourself and see why there's 4 E's in deer, and why I compared it to Looper and whatever the other one. Looper is really the one. Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, and it's kind of got some Matrix built in there as well. So, but yeah, both endings are awesome. You'll love it.
So I have one question.
Yes.
There is an achievement to unlock all achievements. Is it glitched? Because I know they're kind of glitchy.
Don't you dare go there, man. No, it
that was not good.
it is no, it's all of it popped fine for me, like and timely and everything. Yeah. So
all right, well that's all that matters then.
Yeah, I mean, and I enjoyed it along the way. So sometimes there's games that, everything works right and you actually enjoy it along the way. So there you go. And that's why it's my good list. It has a achievement list that makes you want to play all that it offers. Hopefully there's some DLC soon with some more obscure references. But until then, if you've not played it, just know this is a brilliant game that will have you holding onto your controller for dear life.
He got there. That
was my final. I always like to have a final word on each one. So there you go.
Well, it's Game Pass, so easy enough to try. I don't got to pay for it.
Yep. Better hurry though, man. They pull those pretty quick. So yeah, you can go see your stupid doggo stuff. You'll like their version of doggo. Do you know there's that? Oh, I forgot to tell you. Did you know there's actually another doggo boss in another game? I don't think you've played this game though, so it's for in case anybody's wondering, there's another doggo boss besides this one, and it is in the game Undertale. So
I did see that while I was looking up something, probably the boss fight.
Yep. So apparently, in that game, he's a bipedal. I don't know. He's on two legs and dog monster, and he wears a cotton candy pink muscle shirt. So who cannot get with that? So, well, Foof, I really appreciate you joining me, man.
Of course, this is fun. This is very different than the usual thing I record.
There you go. That's we aim for different, and I mean, don't get more different than this last offering here.
No, definitely not. This is definitely a one-of-a-kind game.
Indeed. So, anyhow, thanks for listening, everyone. Any thoughts, suggestions, wonderful things, or what have you, let us know in the chat, Discord chat. And other than that, thanks for listening.
See ya.
Hello again, I'm Wakapeil, who rushed to the free max level character in the MMORPG Tera when it was handed out a while back, and recently went back to it as its PC version is shutting down in June, with the console ports on Xbox and PlayStation possibly doing the same. At the moment, it appears they will live on a while longer, but I did rather stay safe than sorry. Tera stands for the exiled realm of Arborea, which I learned after completing it. The game was originally released in 2011 on PC, but went free to play in 2013. It wasn't until 2018 Tera was ported to consoles and now features crossplay between PlayStation and Xbox. While the graphics look decent, you can tell it really is more than a decade-old game. Tera reminded me of World of Warcraft in its MMO design, but it features a much more action and skill-focused combat system, which is one of its standout features. It doesn't come close to a modern action game, but it is much more engaging than most MMO combat. I did not care for the high fantasy story featuring gods and demons, as I was not a fan of its sloppy cutscenes and poor voice acting. As I started with a level 65 character, the story was rather disjointed for me, and I only had to do one proper quest line which focused on the high elf hero Freya, who sure sounded like a high elf, stuffing her weird pipe with questionable ingredients. It was difficult to take anyone seriously in their ludicrous get-ups. Most character designs are either macabre, cute, or very sexualized, for both genders, but the ladies in particular use some very strange armor, often exposing plenty of skin and looking glued onto their bodies or held up solely by their nipples, which is impressive considering the pronounced breast physics. There is even a specific equipment slot for underwear. This is extra creepy with the game's Ellen race, which all look like human 8-year-old girls with animal ears. The Ellen, along with some other revealing equipment, have been slightly censored in the Western market, where the players can't run around in their underwear like the other races, but I still find them creepy. As I did not want to explain why I was playing as a half-naked dude or lady, when my family walked by the TV, I chose to play as a popori, a bear or panda-like humanoid race. I played as a brawler, as I was told by community member Tera, with 2 R's, that you could solo the entire game with a brawler, and he was correct. The time estimate for completing Tera with 1 R on TA is 40 to 50 hours, but can be done way faster if you picked up the level 65 level boost. I completed it in a bit over 20 hours, going in mostly blind, just following individual guides on TA, and Isret did it in 12 hours after first completing the Asian stack, which recently had its servers closed. I did acquire level 65 gear through a simple quest, but I never upgraded it and barely figured out the combat, as most fights only required you to stand and punch the enemies once or twice. Everything was rather easy, except for the 3 high-level world bosses you need to defeat for the highest value achievement in the game. Most achievements are tied to completing dungeons, as they can all be completed by 1 level 65 character, most of them easily, despite saying they are designed for 5 players. You can play quests to go through the dungeons, or just walk up to them and start a run, with the exception of Akasha's hideout, which you must complete in the solo dungeon mode after completing a rather lengthy quest chain, starting with the quest The Desert Jewel, making the solo dungeon available once you reach the quest Search and Destroy. This quest line is an automatic main quest which shows up in your quest log once you've reached a certain level, which I believe is 40. The remaining achievements, outside of getting a level 65 character, which is the max level for play characters, are tied to world bosses and can be a pain for multiple reasons. The biggest issue being they are hiding in a shared world and can take many hours to respawn after being killed. You also won't get credit unless you are the first player or group to attack the world boss. 3 world bosses are particularly tricky and took me many attempts to find, and also put up around a 1 hour long fight each, as they are level 68, 3 levels above the level cap. I'm sure these fights can be significantly shorter if you gear up properly, team up with others, and actually learn your character's skill set, but I had not done that. After learning the boss's patterns, it was fairly easy to avoid taking damage, as you can dodge their telegraphed attacks. I still recommend stocking up on plenty of health potions in case you get tired of the lengthy fight and make mistakes, as the bosses hit hard and can kill you quickly if you're not careful. If you can't find a world boss, you can switch channel in the main menu, which moves you to a different world instance where the boss might be available. You can also go back to the main menu and disable crossplay, which appears to give you a Xbox exclusive instance. When I disabled crossplay, I had a much easier time finding the world bosses and rarely run into other players. Tera has 25 achievements worth 1000 game score and 4300 TA. I enjoyed steamrolling through most of it with my level 65 character, but it does not appear to be a very difficult or grindy completion starting with a level 1 character. There are a few free boosters available in the Xbox store, but I never used them. If you enjoyed old school MMORPGs decades ago, you will probably enjoy Tera, and it doesn't really outstay its welcome, as it is rather short completion by both free-to-play and MMO standards, and does not require you to spend a cent, even if it will frequently tempt you to. With the PC servers shutting down, Tera's future is uncertain, so if you want the completion, you'd better start sooner rather than later. While you can play the entire thing by yourself, I'm sure it would be much more fun if you bring a friend or 4. Have a nice day, everyone!